What's up?
Start over. They didn't have audio.
Oh, that's okay. Now there's audio?
Now they're really confused.
Yay, audio!
Is there audio now?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
Too many things today.
That's all right. It's Monday. And it is another great Brave Monday. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Aloft, a post-atomic romance here on GeekSpaceTV. My name is Andrew. I'm the Dungeon Master for this adventure, for this campaign. And I have here with me Dodo, being wielded and puppeted by Monica, who's playing Fennec, the druid. Also, tag team tandem force of a kangaroo and child being wielded by Holly, who is back once again playing Yolanda Orlando, the paladin. Over here, I mean, everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. It's that dog with the coffee cup in the house on fire. But behind that dog, perhaps behind that dog this entire time, is our good friend George, who's back playing Getty the Bard and Ship's Doctor.
Everything is gonna burn. We'll all take turns. I'll get mine too.
And behind this Welsh corgi is a Welsh Corwin here to play Theo, the ranger, as well as the ship's pilot.
He's got the belt buckle to prove it.
Yeah. So I don't know how long they're going to be doing this, but, you know, I'm fine with it. And while they are, some announcements. This Wednesday night, here on GeekSpaceTV, Leviathan Distant Stars continues. If you like crew-based science fiction RPG stories like this one, you're probably going to really like a crew-based RPG science fiction story like Leviathan Distant Stars.
You should watch that.
Friday, also back is Eat, Pray, Kill. Yeah, and the crew of 3 demons and 1 human who's made some very questionable choices. We'll be back continuing to kill demons.
Don't
also,
you question your life choices?
Also, Patreon rewards for everyone who supports GeekSpaceTV on Patreon. Those rewards have been updated. Check your notifications or check out at the Patreon for details. The most important detail is that you don't have to do anything. It's all been changed for you. So just go check out the cool stuff you're going to get. So,
Ta-da.
hey guys, we're back.
Hello.
We're here to play again. Let's talk about what happened last time. Because as usual, I feel like we should talk about what happened last time.
Well, I kicked the ass along with Fennec, and then Getty took the names.
I actually went around taking
That's
names.
literally
Yeah,
what
he
happened. I like
he
that.
like introduced himself. There was handshaking. You really formed a bond.
Yeah.
Look, it's kicking ass and taking names. They go together like peanut butter and chocolate, okay? Unless you're allergic to peanut butter and or chocolate, in which case I cannot help you.
There is only so much medicine can do.
Get yourself some EpiPens.
Yeah, so you're all on the second stage of your shakedown cruise for the airship, the Calamity Jane. After you've been to Keystone and picked up a strange, fuzzy little ambassador from the animals who run the place, you went up to Rapid City on a salvage mission. You met some chivalrous robots. And then you went to prove your valor by kicking raiders out of the hospital, which you could also hit up for salvage. Turned out they weren't there. You met an old coot who came over for dinner, and then his ride showed up being pursued by pirates. And then definitely you kick some ass by coming to their rescue and boarding their ship and taking it over.
We're just keeping it normal.
Yeah.
Normal day, you know.
And that was pretty darn exciting. And then you all met up with like your ship, the Bluebell, which is the airship out of San Antonio that you rescued from the pirates, and your new prize vessel, the pirate airship, very shark themed. You've noticed that it's called the Mako. Have all drifted a bit north. And parked in those big open parking lots in the Rapid City Industrial Park to do things like trade and salvage and repair.
I'm looking forward to giving that shit a makeover.
it begins.
Getting started early.
Yeah, no, starting strong.
Yeah.
And also, Lady Joan of the Robertine Order and the Android Crusade showed up with some of her folk to let you know that you did prove your valor. So that's where we're going to pick up. After I get to a bit of business, Corwin, can you hand this to George?
Oh.
Can you also hand this to George?
Oh, you get two.
Is George getting fan mail?
Yes.
So I have, there are some envelopes with trigger conditions on them.
Oh.
For instance, this one says, when you are reduced to 0 hit points, take this envelope. And then it has instructions. The next time your character falls asleep, open this envelope, read the contents, and inform the GM that you are doing so.
Doesn't hitting 0 hit points basically mean you're kind of, in a sense, falling asleep anyways?
I don't think that's what meant by this.
No. But I'm very glad that we had this conversation because that is not how it works.
Okay. I'm just establishing boundaries and parameters.
Yes, thank you. So George has 2 because what are the trigger conditions that you hit?
Well, let me read them off for everybody, including the murderer. When you stabilize a dying stranger, someone you do not yet know the name of, take this envelope. Next time your character falls asleep, open this envelope.
All of
etc.
them have the same instructions for opening.
When you convince or inspire someone to move to Hill City, take this envelope,
So
et cetera, et cetera.
next time you fall asleep, you're gonna start opening those envelopes.
I am.
Both of them.
Ooh.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fancy lad.
Yeah.
I open envelopes. Always be opening.
I'm just pushing the envelope.
I feel like you skipped some letters there.
Okay.
C, D, E. yeah.
Sense and syntax in sentences is for envelope openers, okay?
Oh, okay.
So is this like when we say the magic word so we don't know those other conditions
Oh.
that could earn us an
Oh,
envelope?
would you like to know what those are? So
I
this
would
is
love to
this
know.
is player information. It's not character information, but by all means,
Play
let-
towards this player information?
Yes.
And be sure to
Okay.
rewatch.
Wait, we want to do this?
I mean, if I'm not going to tell you what you want or don't want.
I want to be special like George is special.
Okay. Well, to be special, these
I don't
conditions.
know if special is what I want.
These trigger conditions are for the remaining 4 are when you are reduced to 0 hit points, when you recover a pristine piece of pre-war high technology, when you complete your mentor's personal assignment,
Ooh.
and when you land the killing blow on a glow-spawned abomination. So there's one that Getty probably won't get.
Now, aren't we all glow spawned abominations, like at heart?
Okay.
And this is when we turn on each other.
I mean,
you're
I
you're
did
actually
kill
not.
a glow.
And so I'm very glad we had this conversation.
Uh-huh.
Okay, an abomination onto who?
So, like those animals over in Keystone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and
Were-
I killed?
Yeah, were they glow spawned abominations?
So I'm using abomination in a bit of a D&D 5 like creature type sense.
Oh.
So like those animals are recognizably animals, even though they had something hinky going on.
Magical
when
beasts.
when you find something new that is biological and is obviously a product of the glow, like you will know that that is a glow spawned abomination.
You know, something with 6 mouths and like 9 screaming, melted pre-war humans begging on the top to be killed, mounted on the top of its horrible carapace. You know, when it attacks, like sheds like bits of flakes of its own shell at you, and it just vomits pools of acid everywhere it goes and uses them to burrow. That would probably be more like. Would that be right?
Hang on.
Does it have to meet all of those criteria?
No, no. I'm just a ballpark. This is a
Oh,
ballpark.
Yeah, yeah.
Shed shell, burrow.
Yeah, it vomits
Yes.
acid.
Yes, it would.
Screaming, yeah.
Feel free to check with me.
They're
if
all
you have any
begging for
questions
death.
about
It's,
that.
it's
All
very
right.
important.
when you
All the ones
when
on
you
top.
see one.
All right.
If you're like, hey, does this count as a glow spawn abomination? I'll be like, yeah, or not quite.
They alternate
So-
between begging for death and for you to run.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would definitely qualify.
We're sorry, you know.
Quit spoiling the finale, George. Come on, get out of my head. No, wait. I'm sorry. Back into the shared imagined space that we're all exploring together. Yeah. So you guys are hanging out, or whatever you're actually doing. The Calamity Jane is so again this industrial park at the outskirts of Rapid City. big, wide open, a bunch of like tall-looking factory and warehouse sort of buildings, many of which are half fallen in on themselves. There was a war 25 years ago. And then in the middle, just these big, mostly barren expanses of concrete. So there's plenty of room for you guys to set down. So you're there with the Calamity Jane and your crew. The Bluebell has landed, and Captain Sawyer, who you met last session, had introduced himself, and he sent his crew, his work crew, over to assist your Rusty and the rest of your crew for whatever you're going to be doing with the Mako, which has a bunch of dead pirates on it and a few live ones that Getty stabilized after the fight. So, oh, yes, and Lady Joan showed up with her entourage, congratulating you. So, out of all of that, where does someone want to pick up?
I think it's Lady Jones's move. Lady Jones' move because right as we ended the session, didn't she walk in?
Yeah.
That's
So, greetings, Lady Joan, and I'll sketch a small bow. Thank you so much for finding us. As you can see, we brought down some raiders. Were these the raiders you were hoping we'd bring down? Because they weren't actually in the hospital when we found them.
No? Interesting. My scouts usually reported that the hospital, when it was full of, not full, inhabited by scavengers and murderers and skulkers, that sort of thing.
What is the location of Portia right now?
Portia? Portia's back on your ship.
Okay.
Him and his wife are coming out.
Okay. What's his wife's name? Do we have his wife's name
You
yet?
have not asked his wife's name yet.
That's so rude. We'll need to fix this.
We were in the middle of a firefight. You really got to be fair to yourself.
I
Yeah.
thought that she introduced herself when we first met her.
No, I don't think she did. She just sort of ran out
Oh, okay.
onto the roof of the hospital and sort of jumped in.
Okay.
And I had a "you're cool" moment.
Yes. So you know that she's cool.
Yeah.
In a way that's more important.
Perhaps she'll answer to that, I guess. I don't know.
You're cool?
Could have a scene.
Yeah.
So Lady Joan is there, yes, with her entourage.
Well, we did encounter a neutral scavenger who was able to enlighten us to the location of the constant barbarians was described in the hospital.
A neutral scavenger, you say?
Yes.
And she like looks away and does this thing. You've noticed that androids do this, where they're like looking into memories, like they're scanning old videos they've seen. Was it an old man or woman? Some kind of jumpsuit, really itchy trigger. There he is, and she points across the tarmac towards your ship, where out of the cargo bay is climbing the old scavenger couple.
I say, yeah, he tipped us off to the location of some bandits around the hospital. That there's definitely been bandit and raider activity inside the hospital. Right as we were starting to discuss for more information, I point towards the Mako. I guess that's what we're calling it. Mm-hmm. That showed up.
Oh yeah, we watched the fight. It was very impressive.
Hard to miss.
And the mining robots and the GI robots that are with her like sort of mumble like to each other like, yeah, that was pretty badass. Yeah, way to go.
I turned to one of the mining robots and went, "So who won the bets?"
He puts his hand up for a fist bump.
Now I know robots gamble.
Yes! I'm so happy about this development.
Lady Jones says, there is bad blood between my people and that couple. I am holding you responsible for their behavior,
Fair enough.
as long as they are sharing your space.
That's valid.
I understand it may have been a case of bad first impressions or a misapprehension between us, but he has traded fire with my guards before, and I don't really want... I'm not interested in repairing that relationship.
You don't want to deal with it. I understand that.
Also, you see that the old scavenger couple has spotted the robots, and they're just like taking a nice wide arc around the discussion in the middle between the three airships as they head towards the Bluebell.
I get the feeling is mutual.
It seems a lot of sentient beings have done some regrettable things since the war. And the robots that have invaded your homeland of Silicon Valley, I fear that they may have given a bad impression of your that it is terrible racism that you have to overcome as a result of that plague.
She just nods.
Speciesism.
She just nods at that too.
Yes.
So, I believe we had some sort of a wager or bargain.
Oh yes. We were supposed to bring you something as a token of our work. We haven't gotten quite a chance to inventory the Mako yet.
Oh, I don't know. It looks like you've brought me quite the prize. And she just gestures towards the Mako itself.
So, what kind of that silicone rubber would we be, or latex rubber would we be able to get in exchange for this?
Is Fennec in this here, or is Fennec off doing something else?
Fennec doesn't understand robots.
So is she there looking confused, or is she off?
Fennec is probably hanging out with the scavengers, probably having dinner because she's hungry, and she had planned on eating dinner earlier. And then she got into a fight, and it got really, really exciting, and now she's hungry.
Are you a human yet, or are you still a cheetah?
We
This
talked
is a
to
very good
somebody,
question.
and then I was human, but I can't remember who we talked to.
If we're talking plants, though, we should go get Fennec.
Captain Sawyer, I believe, of the Bluebell, who's here and watching you guys have this conversation. So,
If we're talking plants, we should probably get Fennec. I'm going to go do that.
Fennec is our plant expert, just so you know. Joan.
Lady Joan speaks up and says, "Oh yes, the wild-looking one. I expected for her to be involved. Yes, no, we'll transfer a sapling for this prize. You can have the plant. We'll even transfer some knowledge about how to tend it."
16 perception to find Fennec.
So I mentioned that the old scavenger couple had started their way over. So during the battle, they just kept eating. They didn't really join in. They had a bit of a like, this just could be it. So we're just gonna eat because the food is good, and pleasures before death takes us.
I love them.
Rejoice today, for tomorrow you may die.
Yes, they were having a bit of one of those. Plus, you already got the old man high, and
You got the munchies.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty bad. So, yeah, they're heading towards the Bluebell. If you're hanging out with them, then you're walking with them.
Would I have had time to eat?
Yes.
Okay.
There were some
So
leftovers.
I definitely want to have a full belly before I have a conversation with humans and robots.
Sure. Well, then we could say you're still eating,
Okay.
even though they promised to come back and say goodbye.
Okay.
They're not done doing business with you, but they need to go check in with their ride.
Okay.
And over the course of your conversing with them, they revealed that you asked the old woman's name, and she says, "Oh, her name is Portia,
Oh,
Mama Portia."
they're both Portia.
Yes, and he is Papa Portia.
Aww.
I think I know the 2 words that will get Fennec instantly invested in this conversation. Hey, Fennec! Free plants!
Like Fennec just somehow hears that they're getting a sapling and just spontaneously is there a sapling?
We've already successfully transplanted them between locations before. Lady Joan is going on. We'll walk you through it. And then when we come to visit you in Hill City, we will check on your progress and make sure that it is doing well.
Thank you so much.
You
How-
are welcome, dear.
However,
She says very sort of in an aristocratic, condescending fashion.
I still feel like this exchange is a little one-sided. We brought down an airship, saved you from potentially being attacked by said airship at some point down the road, and we're getting a twig.
Unlimited sources of latex, of lubricant.
Wait, I thought we were gonna take the harpoon.
I mean, I'm sure that this is all details of negotiation ongoing.
So Andrew, I had already taken a
The
bit
harp-
of some weapons and ammunition off that ship.
Oh,
as
you most
my-
certainly have, yes.
Yes, so
Yeah. Oh, she says, okay, well,
I would just love to trade for some more knowledge, at the very least, about your specializations here.
you are, of course, entitled to the spoils of war. We have no use for the bodies or personal possessions of those pirates. We will arm and outfit the craft ourselves. We mostly just want its frame and lifting cells and engines.
I've already had a brief look at the engines.
We'll even help you strip the damn thing.
This is sounding a little better.
You were saying,
I've already had a brief look at the engines. They work. It's really I can speak for them. Promise me you'll do something about this gaudy paint job.
oh, heavens, yes. We wouldn't. Yes.
We're inland. Why a shark motif?
I always figured it was respect for mythological beasts.
I suppose, but where are we?
Have you ever seen a shark?
Maybe they came from the land of the lawyers.
What is the
Valid.
land of the lawyers?
I don't know. I heard something about lawyers being sharks, so maybe they're from the same place.
My mama always told me the same story.
Yeah.
I've heard that before too, but I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
turns out lawyers were the first against the wall when the revolution came.
So, yeah, she'll help you strip the damn thing. And
Thank you to any of my coworkers who are watching this. Sorry about that.
Captain Sawyer speaks up, the Texan with the very denim theme. Now, we are missing a fair bit of fabric. We are missing a fair bit of hydrogen. I was hoping to scavenge some off that contraption. He's saying this more to Lady Joan. She's like, oh, well, yes, of course, your risk was greater, therefore, we'll see what we can share.
It's all going pretty well.
Yeah. Is there any way we could talk about your geological specializations as well? I mean, I realize this is something that you're very uncomfortable talking about, but I mean, you've seen that we're reputable.
Geological specializations?
Well, there seems to be a lot going on in those mines that you really wanted to avoid talking about. I would just love to talk to you about some of that.
I like the biopower. Can we
The bio-
know about
yeah.
that?
Yeah, and things of that nature.
Yes. Do you? I'm going to put my my people to work. And she turns and claps her hands, and the two of the soldier robots stay with Lady Joan, and everyone else in her entourage peels off towards the Mako to help with the salvaging, and scrapping and all that. She says, "Do you have a salon, a lounge?"
What does it sound like when a robot claps?
Clank?
It depends on what material they're.
What does it sound like when Lady Joan claps?
She has these armored gauntlets on, so you hear the sound of like two chainmail gloves, like slapping together. Yeah,
More like cymbals. Lots
a little
of
bit.
little
Yes.
cymbals.
Yeah.
I feel like
So-
there's
Sorry,
a joke
I
in
really
there.
wanted to know that. Sorry. Keep going.
Yes,
You're doing
this
great.
way.
Yeah.
And I gesture back towards our ship, where I think the closest we have to the salon is your RV.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll send Rusty to work with the robots about breaking down things and stripping it.
I'm on it.
Okay.
Get all the
Clank,
boop,
clank,
boop,
clank,
boop,
clank.
boop.
Well, we
This
need to
is
go
my
there.
gun sign.
Well, we need to go that way anyway. I need to check on my patients.
Yeah, where'd you put those patients? Did you move them over to your ship, or are they still over on the Mako?
Half the RV is a medical center, and the other half is where I entertain guests.
All right. Well, so Lady Joan comes in. She also gestures, and one of the infantry bots is wearing a satchel, and he produces a very dusty old bottle full of something brown. She's like, "Oh, I found this in the faculty lounge at the Mining Institute. Here, you can toast your success." Is that still a thing people do?
I do it.
Sure, yeah.
You toast? Yeah.
Cheers.
What's the label?
It's faded and scratched, but it's like some kind
Faded
of
and scratched.
yeah, faded and scratched.
That's a good brand.
Aged 12
Yeah.
years. No,
Yeah.
it's some kind of bourbon. There's the outline of like a duck hunter wading through the muck on it.
So good peat.
I give it a whiff.
Yeah, it smells like that good stuff.
Thunk. Yes, this will do. Okay, well, we get back to my RV. I'll put out some plates. The fish is still there.
Are you sure she didn't eat it all?
Did you eat all the fish?
Do we have, is the kitchen in the RV or do we have a kitchen on the airship? I'm confused. I thought we had a kitchen on the airship.
Yeah, there is a galley space on the airship.
Okay.
But there's also like the little like RV size kitchen.
Okay. How many people does the RV size kitchen fit and how many does the one on the airship fit?
They're both kind of cramped.
Okay. So like 4 people?
But you've got the so both next to the RV and in the galley, like you've got some tables you can move around.
Okay.
So like if you're doing like a whole like crew family dinner, like in the cargo bay, as long as it's not already full of stuff, you can just folding picnic table kind of thing.
I have an
Folding
obnoxious.
benches.
I have an obnoxiously large, 42-foot, all slide out fifth wheel that's got like deploy ramps. I can probably sit 12 if I had to for a dinner
Okay.
at a table.
Speaking of, is Captain Sawyer joining us?
Sure. He reckons that'd be fine.
All right.
Captain Sawyer, what is the custom of how to dispose of Raider dead bodies?
Well, it depends on jurisdiction and local custom.
Do you know what it's done here in Rapid City, since you seem like you've come by occasionally?
Yeah, occasionally, but no one really lives in Rapid City. There
Yes.
isn't any sort of formal society.
Oh.
There's, back home in San Antonio, if they were raiders who come in from land, then we'd put them up on, hang them from road signs outside of town as a warning to the rest. But, usually whatever local folks do with their dead,
Burn them?
burn them, put them in the ground, something
All
like
right.
that. I mean, this seems like it's your backyard. Y'all get to figure out what to do there.
Yeah, so maybe we can ask a small pyre be built. All right, so I go and tell one of our crew people who are going back and forth to start assembling the dead bodies into a pyre.
A pyre?
A pyre?
Like
A burning them pyre?
burning them with...
Would eventually, but we'll probably need to get some of that.
Yeah, we
That's
don't
a
got a
good
whole
point.
lot of extra wood right now. I mean, I could stack them up here, and like you immediately just whoop, starts carrying one over.
Wait.
Has
Yeah,
load
Doc?
them.
Yeah, Doc?
Load them all up in the airship.
That's gonna smell horrible.
I'm sorry. Do you know anywhere else to get adrenal glands?
To get what?
Adrenal glands.
I heard of those, but what?
Put them all in the medical station.
Okay.
Eddie's gonna do something creepy, isn't he?
Usually.
All right. They are hauled to the medical station.
Let's just say I have a locker.
Oh, goodness.
He also has the biggest kitchen on the ship.
For reference sake, when you say adrenal glands, are those for like a medical purpose or like a recreational purpose?
We don't have a bunch of spare pigs lying around to make things like insulin or things like that. I mean, I'm going to need to do some tests on these, but I'm probably get something out of them.
Okay.
You got to use every part of the buffalo, or the raider in this case. If they're too screwed up in drugs, I'm just going to burn them anyway.
All right. Noted for later.
Oh, I'm sorry. What am I supposed to tell Mrs. McCann about her diabetes? I'm sorry, we ran out of pigs.
As a note, the people with in your town with diabetes that have made it 25 years haven't managed their diet. Like, no one has seen insulin in 25 years. So,
And that might change. So I want to be ready for that.
all right. So, you're there. Lady Joan sits back on a bench and leans against a table and says, well, what did you want to know?
So you seem to have a very unique aspect of. Are those bodies or food? I can't tell.
For God's sakes, what do you think I am? Some sort of, not one of
Dr.
those.
Frankenstein?
No.
To answer the question from before that I didn't get to, yes, there was plenty of food left over. You made enough for the crew and guests, and Papa Portia had the munchies, but he didn't have.
The
he could only
munchies.
fit so much. So,
How much fish did you eat, Fennec?
so you were
So-
saying.
So you seem to have some very unique abilities for developing bioelectricity.
Oh yes, the vines and the trees.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were like that when we found them.
Okay. Could we take some cuttings of those as well? I feel like from previous conversations, you said that most of your role has been more stewardship than creation.
Yes, we came across. Well, I was searching for. I was looking to establish a local base for my order, and knew from an old journal that I'd read that there were several androids at the institute, and it was like that when I found it. I had to knock some sense into the still somewhat scrambled comrades that I found there. But it looks like what I believe you termed the glow had changed that campus and
Okay.
produced these somewhat wondrous trees and vegetation. And it became very valuable to us because, well, you, and she gestures towards Getty, who's eating, you draw strength that way, and we need energy. We need electricity.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll provide you with a cutting. We haven't been able to figure out how to grow these plants elsewhere.
Okay.
For now, that location is a very useful way station for my kind.
Okay. So you would say that you have your order has way stations like this all over the country?
Indeed.
Okay.
Could you tell us more about Sir Robert?
You're not sure why she sighs.
Oh, I know.
Because she doesn't have to, because she's a robot. Sir Robert is brave, and he's kind.
Can we maybe get a soil sample?
Yes. When you come to get the tree, you can take all the samples you like, within reason.
Thank you.
He's brave, he is very wise, and ambitious.
And he is still an is?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Have you met him?
Oh, yes.
Is he an android?
Yes. Like all members of my order.
Oh, of course, of course. And where is he from Silicon Valley?
Fennec?
He is, I don't know. He doesn't talk about who he was before the war,
No.
but he is focused on who we want to be now. And it was his idea. The crusade to retake the homeland was his idea. The code that we live and comport ourselves by, those of us who have sworn to it, are of his invention. He is a fearsome warrior, noble leader, and a teacher. I was lost. I was wandering the apartment towers of Manhattan. I'd only just come back to myself after years of the madness that overtook us all when the bombs fell and the EMP came. And it was he who found me and set me on this path.
Oh. So is he the only one who can bring people into the order, or have you been able to knight and lady these other robots that you've discovered?
Those of us with sufficient rank are allowed to bestow knighthood.
Oh.
Yes.
One day, if Sir Robert is ever passing through, please let him know he's welcome in Hell City.
I will do so.
It would be interesting to meet this robot.
His work, he is about the great work of retaking the homeland.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, there is little outside of that. But if his work brings him to this corner, then he will know.
What an honor.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Indeed, it would be an honor. And you are wise to consider it so.
He sounds very impressive.
He is. Is there any other business before I return to my...
So, since we're, we seem to be establishing, trust
Yes.
here, and I appreciate that.
Yes.
If we were to run into other members of the Order, are there ways that we can establish that we've already had conversation with you? And maybe not asking for, secret passwords or anything like that, but just, some kind of recognition of the fact that we're getting along.
I will draft you a letter of introduction.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And she turns around and faces the table she was leaning against and snaps her fingers. Or actually, first she pulls her gauntlets off and then snaps her fingers. And the same one with the satchel that brought out the bottle of whiskey brings out a little stationery set and lays it out in front of her. And she begins to write in a really nice, even cursive script.
What
Kind of
language?
stationary.
Well, let's call it some a nice vellum rated ecru colored sheets. She is using a fountain pen.
I was hoping for Hello Kitty.
Oh, that
Do-
would have been even better.
Do the robots drink whiskey?
They do not.
Oh. So how do we toast to our
Is there anything
United-
that you can consume?
You toast, and they stand there politely and nod.
I get up.
No, they don't. No. Yeah.
I get up and I'll find some appealing batteries that I give to Rusty sometimes. Symbolic gesture.
does he eat them? What do you
I'm assuming he
with them?
plugs them.
You find them and you offer them, and she says, "How thoughtful!" And she gestures, and they go in the satchel of her attendant.
I meant to take them with us as we drank as a symbolic gesture.
Oh. How quaint, she says out loud in front of you. And they emerge from the satchel again, and they each take one and tip it back symbolically.
As they plug it into a diode.
They are not even plugging it into a diode. They are just like, hooray!
This is the glass.
This is so weird. Humans are weird.
Yeah, it's like a D cell. It's like shot glass size, and they just
they're
tap tap.
playing tea party with us
They're
right
charged. They're charged.
now. They're like, oh, this is some really good battery. Oh, it's delicious. Thank you, human.
Well, so they hold them.
I'm going to roll persuasion for it to not be totally insulting. Does that sound okay?
Go ahead and roll insight, actually.
Natural 20 plus 2.
Hey, nice. So you've got a pretty strong read on her right now. She's not insulted. She is amused and having difficulty masking her amusement. So she's a little more worried about insulting you.
Oh, juicy batteries. Yeah.
They're not quite doing. They're not quite doing that. Although, like the two soldier bots, like you catch one looking at the other and just being like. And the first one like hits the other one on the shoulder and is like, "Be cool, dude."
It's so you can play along. It's so you
Yes.
can play along. I say this to the it's so you can play along.
Oh,
Okay.
so I believe there's Lady Jones says. So I believe there's a toast to be made. Does one of you, or do I?
To friendship and chivalry.
I like that.
Very nice. And they clink their batteries to your little cups. I'm assuming like you have like little like coffee mugs and teacups
Yeah.
and like
Oh, yeah.
and like mess kit little metal cups. It's apocalyptic.
I'll happily roll for this,
Eclectic.
but I'm not going to take the shot. I'm going to palm the glass.
Okay.
So I'm going to make it look like I'm taking a shot.
You now have one glass.
No one's really
shot
paying
glass.
attention, so you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You now have a shot glass that says Las Vegas, Nevada. on it.
And is filled with liquor. I'm not taking the shot, is what I'm doing.
Ah.
Noted.
And I'm trying to make it not very obvious that I'm not taking the shot.
Just pour into your beard.
Yeah. I doubt that anyone's like watching anyone else carefully. So, yeah, no roll.
Okay.
You do it. It's
Yeah.
done.
Done.
So we'll be seeing you
Yes.
back at your encampment.
Yes, and then soon we will be. Once we have gotten the hang of our new vessel, we will be visiting you in Hill City.
It'll be an honor.
That'd be
It
great.
is very nice of you to consider
Oh.
it this.
Are you familiar with the workings of an airship? You seem to be a mostly land-based team so far.
We've read some books.
Okay. Downloaded some files.
Yes, well, files are so hard to come by these days. The computers are all toast.
True. Yeah.
That's when I tap my my home PC. Tap. Not all of them.
I'm picturing like a super old dusty tower.
Oh, it's got to have a salvage CRT screen, but the components are nicer, a lot
Yeah.
nicer than that. I've been working on repairing my plasma. It took a bullet a few years back. You have to actually replace every diode by hand.
If you want me to take a look at that, I'm a specialist in electronics. I've been doing this for the past 5 years. I can totally take a look at that.
Dude.
Lady Joan
All right,
finishes.
I'll take you up on that later.
Lady Joan finishes the letter of introduction and holds it up, looks, and doesn't blow on it, but she hands it to one of the soldier bots, who pops like a panel pops open, and you hear a fan whir, and dries the ink.
He's a hairdryer bot.
And well, like no, he's just got fans. Like your computer has fans. Like an Android CPU would also have fans on it.
This has been lovely, but I must go check on the wounded prisoners. I say get up.
Indeed, and I must see how the salvage operation is going. And so they hand that to
I'll take
Lando,
it. Mhm.
who seems to be the one with the right attitude out of everybody. Yeah, and they leave. They leave the Calamity Jane.
We'll be back to check on you in a bit. Like maybe in 8 hours or so.
We'll let you know. Actually, seems to be the way they go about things.
Yeah.
So, you all had stuff you wanted to do. What
Captain
else do you
Sawyer.
Yeah.
Sir, I would love to hear more about the state of the nation right now. You seem to be traveling far and wide in directions that we really haven't had much experience on.
Yeah, y'all are babes in arms. There's something awfully familiar looking about the shape. Like, the gondola's all wrong, but, how'd you get this?
Oh, we just kind of were landed with it.
It crashed into our tower.
Oh. Well, what happened to the crew?
I think some weird robots with blade wings killed them, and there was like one captain guy that was alive. I don't know his name. He lives with us in our town now.
I've got his name somewhere.
You've all lost the man's name.
He's very important to us.
Oh, good old Captain.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Andrew Hillcrest.
Yeah, Perry, Captain Perry.
Captain Perry.
Captain Perry, yes.
Perry?
Yes.
Troy Perry?
Yes.
Big old bushy. Yeah?
He has a
Well,
big
there
old
was
beach.
some singeing.
Oh,
Yes.
sure, that'll happen.
Yes.
He
Well,
tends to trim a little more nowadays.
Holy shit! I gotta go visit Hill City now. I mean, we gotta land somewhere safe to make solid repairs. I'm glad. I haven't seen the Endeavor in several seasons, and so that this. Well, gosh, this is something. So, what did you want to know, youngster?
I'm gonna pop back from the med bay, 16 medicine to stabilize, make sure everyone's okay.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm gonna pop back from the medical bay, 16 to stabilize, and make sure they stay stable. That's it.
Oh, sure. Give me a. Is that a roll
16.
you already made?
Yeah, 16.
Okay, I can't. Could you speak up a bit?
16.
Thank you. Yeah, no, they're fine. I mean, they've been grievously injured, but they're not going to get any worse. Because you're really good at being a doctor and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, he just. Any questions you want to ask him, he just starts going into describing what life is like across the continent. This is a conversation that could go all night, so like let's just hit some highlights.
Yeah, this is something I'm also expecting is going to be an ongoing thing as he comes back to Hill City, and we're just basically I'm preparing for an info dump.
Yeah.
Around. Yeah.
So he's given you a lot of stories and stuff that sound like the ones that Captain Perry gave you too. Like, you know, where the good trading is, where the areas to stay away from are,
Okay, cool.
what the shape of the piracy scene is these days, and
The pyrocene.
yes, the pyrocene, the skyrocene,
The skyrocene. Yeah.
which also sounds like a geological era.
Right.
Yeah. So let's head on to loot. I think I promised you guys some loot.
Yeah,
You
I
can
was,
take
I
some
was
loot.
promised some
Yeah.
loot.
Sure. Well, so there's pretty basic stores in their galley. Just canned food, more recently manufactured canned food, which is good because the stuff from 25 years ago you don't really want to eat.
Unless you need to smooth out your wrinkles a little bit.
Right, with that botulinum toxin.
Oh yeah, and Captain, sorry, since we did kind of like help you out with this situation and things could have gone much worse, how would you feel about us taking fast dibs of the stuff on the hospital as well?
I mean, it's fair. We might be dead if it weren't for you. So you'll also want to talk to the Porsches about that.
I was going to do that anyways.
Yeah, since they're the ones who hauled it up. They usually pay us a cut of what they found as a fee for transporting them to and from the site.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You were listing loot.
Oh, yeah. So let me consult my notes.
Now we have 2 machine guns and a harpoon cannon, right?
Oh, yeah, you have an... So do you want the ship stuff first, or do you want what you found on the pirates first?
What's the ship stuff?
The ship stuff, like the harpoon gun and all
Oh,
that
yeah,
sort of
let's
thing?
hear about the ship stuff, and then we search bodies.
Oh, okay. There is a spring tension fired harpoon gun,
Woo!
and also the pair of rocket batteries that they were keeping inside the gondola.
What's a rocket battery?
A rocket launcher.
Oh, rocket launcher. Okay.
Um,
I was like, it's something that powers rockets?
Yeah.
Do we have ammunition for that?
Yes, you do. There's 2 of them, and there is a total of 8 rockets that have not been fired yet. Which is funny because each of them has 4 barrels that you can load rockets into. So they're both empty when you found them, but the boxes of spare rockets next to them. There's
Smart.
8 total.
You
So-
shouldn't store firearms and ammunition in the same place.
Well, they were stored in the same place, so
Oh,
I don't know. Skyritts, man.
Skyritts,
They just
huh?
have different
Yeah, yeah.
priorities.
Skyritts have such low standards.
The as far as gadgets on the airship, they had the engines of the airship were flexifuel gas burners, but they also had overcharging systems. But since those engines are going to be necessary for the ship to fly, you can't really strip that gadget out. Yeah. The robots are already in the process of ripping those like fin-shaped, like jagged metal.
Do we need the scrap metal?
things.
Accoutrements.
Yeah,
We could use the scrap metal.
they're tossing them into a pile for easy sorting.
I would like to take one of those fins as a souvenir as well.
Like a trophy.
Yeah.
From your first pirate ship defeated.
Yeah.
Is it as big as he is?
It is as tall as he is and about as big as he is with his arms outstretched.
So we should just have one on the top of the gondola, just right,
I mean, it's up to you guys where
Yeah.
you want to mount.
and
mount
be a
it,
dolphin. We're now the dolphin Jane.
Or like if you want to like have a trophy room in the airship or back home, that's up to you guys what you want to do.
I think eventually we should expand the size of our gondola and our just general quarters to actually have a bar. And when we do, we fill it with trophies. You walk in, you just see the first metal fin, first kill.
Could convert the old museum into a trophy.
I mean, the old museum's already got a dinosaur in it, so
Yeah. Get the old out of the way for the new.
a few dinosaurs, as a matter of fact. Other than that, like, they still got gas in the tank, but again, the gas is needed for the engine, so you can't really swipe that. And as far as ship stores, like, you restock your food supply, and you've actually got a little bit extra now. It's not really great food. It's a lot of greasy junk and, like, fast carbs. Like, these pirates are kind of, live fast and hard kind of folk.
Lots of SpaghettiOs.
Yeah. That sort of thing. Although not like SpaghettiOs, but like the equivalent of SpaghettiOs you'd pick up at a port now.
Apocalypsos?
Ooh.
Canned pasta.
Apotheos.
Atomos.
So, they've got a really well-stocked liquor cabinet.
Not
Atomos.
anymore.
Atomos, they're rad.
Boo. Also, yay. You also notice that there's a bunch of damage already on the ship, and you notice that there are more hammocks and cabins than there were pirates when you found the thing. And Captain Sawyer relates to you like, oh yeah, we've been running into these folks like over and over again over the course of this cruise, and we thinned down their numbers, but they finally caught up to us and got some really good hits on us, and that's when it looked like we were going down. So,
Did we ever find out from the surviving, the talking pirate,
Cameron.
if he
Cameron.
has if there's like a pirate stronghold somewhere, or
Haven't even gotten there yet.
no?
yeah, you could ask him. Haven't asked him yet.
And going room to room through the ship
Uh-huh.
for like personal belongings.
Yeah, there's a bunch of personal belongings.
what we got?
Anything cool?
There's Polaroid photos of friends and family. There is an impressive amount of printed pornography.
I grabbed some of that.
There
I'll take all the
is
Polaroid photos.
Just, hey, look. Oh, yeah. Hey, that guy that you failed to save. It's obviously him, younger, with like happy, probably now very disappointed parents.
Is there a
That sort of
Polaroid
thing.
camera on the ship?
Why, yes. Why, yes, there is. Yeah, it's got you check the cassette and it's got 7 pictures left.
Well, I now have a Polaroid camera.
Yes, you do. There's also a, where did it go? Do. They've got charts. They've got charts and they have a ship's log. The charts look a lot like the charts that you got from Captain Perry when you inherited the ship, but they're marked very differently. Like they're marked like shipping lanes, or not lanes, but like shipping routes are marked and then rated based on like how good they are for rating, for skyrating at.
I don't need the porn anymore. I'm just going to be looking through this. It's better.
We can check both.
And
Both at once.
As far-
sorry,
that
go
like
ahead.
You
double
have two
fisting?
hands.
Uh-huh.
And according to their logs, I had it.
I'm just imagining you like opening a chart, going, "Hello, Miss November."
Yes, very much so.
Their usual home port is Duluth, Minnesota.
The what?
Duluth.
Their home port is
Oh,
Duluth.
Duluth.
They have printed on like it's got like a college diploma sort of look, like scroll work and some blanks that have been filled in inside a nice fancy not scroll work border calligraphy writing, and some blanks that have been filled in is a letter of marque.
What?
From whom? These are privateers.
I was really hoping to hear that. I was just thinking when you talked about their home base.
Duluth.
They consider themselves privateers.
Well, everybody does. So who issued it?
Lord Stephen Baron Duluth.
Lord Stephen Baron Duluth made a powerful enemy today.
Just because my dad's name is Stephen, is it PH or V?
This one is a V.
What's your dad? V or PH?
That sounds a lot like a question that the internet would want to know.
So let's play a
Dun, dun,
fun
dun.
game. What was your mom's maiden name?
Exactly. Yeah.
The last four are your social.
Yeah, I was wondering if you just look directly into the camera and just tell them your credit card numbers, please.
Yeah, and according to the logs is just like, well, it looks like this crew has been together in one form or another for 3.5 years, raiding mostly west and south from Minnesota.
So is there anything that we would know about Lord Stephen Duluth and Duluth, Minnesota?
That you would know? Like, go ahead and make an intelligence roll. You can add a skill to it if you have a relevant skill like history or something.
Insight.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
I'll go for it.
We're like, nah, we're good.
I'm just waiting to go play with the trees.
Duluth
That's
starts
13.
with D.
That's a 9. I
That's a
think.
9, and that's
13.
13. This sounds like something that Captain Perry
Oh
told
no,
you
that's
about.
a 10.
Ooh.
Yeah. But 13 still beats it.
Yeah, that the Great Lakes cities are ruled by the industrial barons, who commission pirates and call them privateers to go bring them back loot and slaves for their factories.
He's a literal robber baron? What?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yes.
Duluth sounds a lot like the loot.
Bring me Duluth. Bring me Duluth.
Bring the loot to Duluth. So yeah.
And they're slavers? Sounds like an excellent bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And ladies,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
sure.
you're gonna get along great if you ever journey to the Great Lakes. Yeah, that's
Is there a flag for Duluth that might be hanging out on the ship so that when they are returning home, they would be recognized?
there's no flag for Duluth, but in their logs it does describe the what color pennants to fly off the tail, like what combination of colors and what order,
Yep.
as well as the like semaphore codes
Yep.
for indicating that you are a returning, bearer of a letter of marque.
Duluthian.
So they're not flying the Duluth flag,
No, they're not.
which would be a green with a blue cross on the top of it with the symbol of the seal, Duluth in the middle and silver.
Nope, they're not. Yeah. If you want any of the stuff the pirates themselves had on them, they have a bunch of waste mail that's shark themed, and they have a few guns and sabers and personal weapons.
I will always take guns and sabers because, we need all the ammunition and guns we can get.
It's true.
Would our
Stock up the-
blacksmith like the armor and stuff?
He might be able to do something with the scrap metal. So,
I'll gather the personal effects of the bandits I'm aware survived.
okay.
And I'll also gather separately the personal effects of all the bandits I'm aware do not appear to have survived.
Okay.
So one pile, another pile.
Got it.
We're not going to Duluth to return that.
Why would you think I'd want to go to Duluth? There's slavers there.
I wouldn't mind going and killing some slavers.
Oh, you also find a pretty nice fold-out spyglass.
Spyglass.
Sweet.
Any fancy hats?
Yeah, how much do you like sharks?
Are we talking like part of a kigurumi shark hat? Are we talking this was a sports team shark hat 40 years ago?
We're
Like the
talking
Pokemon
like
Go, Magikarp.
Yeah.
It looks like it just has all these teeth that just keep coming back in and in, so it's just like rows of teeth hat. No?
No.
I like that.
Yeah, they don't have. Okay, they have one of those
One of those.
with like the plush.
That was the captain. The captain got the rows of teeth.
You find these shark themed hats in the personal quarters.
I'm taking one home in a biscuit.
All right.
I got you a souvenir, honey. You know what? They're terrible human beings who murdered and enslaved, but damn, I appreciate their commitment to a theme.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
Should we have a theme?
What game would that be? Sharks and...
Sharks with
and-
jets.
We're like cowboys. Because we got the Calamity Jane, and we could maybe start wearing the Western hat.
I'm already dressed appropriately for that.
We
Oh.
could. I mean, we do have the Six Fathers. That's the right number, right?
I'm gonna double check my notes so I don't get it wrong again.
We've got the Six Fathers, so we could be like the the dead.
The 6 grandfathers.
The Six Grandfathers.
Yes.
So we could be like the dead presidents or something.
I'd rather not.
Okay. Just throwing it out there.
The gunslinger theme seems more compelling. Not that
For a
I.
whole party that doesn't use guns, it's great. I really like that
Well,
actually.
they just be, decorative.
Like, oh, okay, are you going to come out? We just fought a bunch of shark pirates, okay?
And none of them were even literally sharks.
None of them were
so-
sharks. I didn't see a single hammerhead. I didn't see it. The ship was named Mako. I'll give points for that. Beyond that, that's it.
Did any of them file their teeth into little points?
No, none of them are quite that committed.
Ah,
Yeah.
If
I
we want a theme, Hill City is known for its dinosaurs.
Dinosaur Buccaneers? Or, well, no, dinosaur gunslingers?
I have an image
Oh
in
my
my head
gosh.
of like a dinosaur holding a
T-Rex
little
who can't-
tiny revolver.
Can't reach his.
Can't reach his tiny revolver.
boom, boom.
I mean, or we could be like explorers, like, except without the Jurassic Park stuff happening. You showed me that, Getty. It was very. I don't want that to happen.
I still can't believe there were dinosaurs wandering around in the 90s.
Yeah. Could I learn how to use a whip?
You might already know how to use it.
I might already know how to use a whip.
What's your class?
I'm a paladin.
You know how to use a whip.
I know how to use a whip. I am going to get a whip and add that to my ensemble.
Yes.
You'll need the spell sniper feat for it to be worth anything, so you can actually smite with it. Because otherwise, you can only smite like melee.
Well, it's a melee weapon, so it's still melee range.
No, it's been rolled. You need
It's weird. Yeah, it's
Okay.
considered ranged.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Spell
so
sniper will
they
fix it.
finished stripping down the, getting the useful stuff off the Mako.
Yeah.
The Porsches come up to you,
I'm
to
the one who
Theo.
does the flying thing.
Yeah. And Papa Porsche's like, I heard you said something about wanting our haul.
I mean, I didn't know what your whole deal with the ship was, because, I mean, I figured you were just trading it for a ride, and I'm pretty sure we're giving you a ride to Hill City anyways. Unless you want to go somewhere else.
Okay. Then I'll give you the same cut that I was going to give Captain Sawyer in the Blue Bow.
Did he give you such a delicious meal?
Does your hospitality always have a price in Hill City?
Not
Now,
in Hill-
honey.
Not in Hill City, but I mean, I feel like we just did a lot to save your lives here. I'm not the person who should be doing this. But
Okay.
yeah. But,
They
yeah.
might know that.
Yeah,
They might have
yeah.
figured that out.
Uh-huh. Okay. That's valid.
And they're giving you like a good cop, bad cop thing, where like Papa Portia is the one
tell you
pressing
what.
you. Mama Portia is nice, but she's still kind of helping to box you in.
I'll tell you what. You show me my way around that little gun of yours, and we'll take the same cup.
You mean
The rifle?
the one that Mama has?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds very good, dear. All right. Well, don't try nothing funny business with my missus.
I mean, what? No, that wasn't. Did he see the porn in my back pocket?
Oh.
No, it's not what that's about.
Okay.
Because he he sees
Yeah.
you get flustered, and then him and his wife both just laugh. Like it's
And that's when
Like
the
it's
porn
an
fell
old
out of his
joke.
pocket, and then his pants fell down to his ankles, and all the kids at school saw him, and he peed and peed.
Nosebleed.
yeah, sweat drop. Sure. Any time you want before they leave your company, she will show you how her fancy. It's a hunting rifle. You've seen one before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was slightly more heavy duty than that.
Not really.
Okay.
But she doesn't know that you know that, so she will go through the whole now this is a such and such brand this, and this is what I've done to the bolt, and all that sort of thing. She's
Oh.
obviously very
Yeah.
proud. So, any other business before they fly back to look at those cool plants?
Well, we're in the industrial park.
Did you want to do some salvaging while you're
I
here?
did want to do some salvaging.
Because there's 2 more dungeons in my notes, and you guys just picked one of them and ended up at the second one. So.
Can we take a long rest and then do some salvaging before we head back?
Why don't we? Because I'm looking at poor Monica there, and with every passing second, she accumulates more and more energy to get a look at those plants. And she's just been growing silent as the energy proceeds to just build within her until, honestly, we're gonna get to break, and if we don't see a plant sometime soon, I think she might die. Let's go there and take our long rest,
Plants
look
are-
at the plants, do some salvage, head back home.
I'm fine.
You-
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Lady Joan runs across Fennec and is like, "Oh, we were just about to. Me and my guards were just about to walk back to the institute. If you'd like to come and begin preparing the plants for transfer, that seems to be a bit more your speed, dear, than." She gestures at the sawing and the sounds of ratchet things being ratcheted.
Does she have sound effects in her?
She might, but she doesn't use them. But she gestures towards.
Okay.
The loud bang of another metal fin having been torn off and tossed into the pile.
It would be kind of hilarious if she did a full-on impression.
Because she can.
She can. She just recorded and played it back to you.
Yeah.
Look at her. Look at how happy. Look at how happy Monica is now. That's all it took, just a plant.
How do we feel about splitting the party?
And as she's talking, by the way, you see her pull off her gauntlet again, and she reaches down and holds her hand out, and Tybalt has shown up and sniffs her robot fingers, and then she scoops him up and just sort of dandles him around. Oh, who is this? Does he want to come too?
His name is Tybalt.
Oh, is that a Shakespeare reference?
He told us it's his name.
well, I guess they're not all barbarians out here, are there? And she, like, scratches the cat, and the cat's just loving it. Cat's like, this lady knows what's up, even if she's a robot, is, like, the vibe he's giving off. He's purring.
Good.
He's getting in there.
Yeah. If anybody wants to come with,
I'll go.
okay.
Everything's all fine here. Work crew's getting, but I'll have to take care of something first. Don't mean to delay the plant scene any longer, but before I leave, I better have my check-in with Cameron.
Oh, yeah. So, Cameron...
the pirate.
Cameron, out of his shark-themed gear, has been helping the work crews, strip and scrap the Mako, and carry stuff over to help repair the Bluebell. A bunch of those big fins they tore off are actually getting like bolted onto the frame to like help cover up the scorched gashes in the. It's a temp fix. It's obviously a patch. They're
It's
going to
a
get some
patch
nice
job.
blue doped canvas to put back over it later.
I'll announce myself by just re-entering right into our earlier conversation. I kind of liked your idea about just letting this thing burn, but like I said, there's no way in hell they'd let us leave the machine gun.
Sounds right to me. Sure, and he just keeps working. Like he doesn't seem like he wants to talk about it a lot.
I think when we get back in town, we can have a chat about things, but for now I'm going to leave you be.
Okay. Thank you.
I got the backpack deal once. And I'll turn around, and I'll go with you.
All right.
I would join you, but I'm pretty sure I'm doing ship things.
All right, so am I scavenging by myself, guys?
I mean, you're
Oh,
working with the. Oh, are you going to go scavenging in the industrial park?
Yes.
Yes. Oh man, talk about splitting the party.
I
Yeah.
know, that's what we've been talking about, guys.
So,
Take Rusty with you.
That's true.
Can we all take say we took a short rest, by the way?
you can take a short rest. Yeah. Do you
Yes.
want to cat nap while you do that, or?
We could say that, I mean, it's really just like, we all had, like, dinner.
Yeah.
Isn't that a short rest?
Yeah. Totally.
Okay.
What do we get with a short rest?
You're allowed to spend hit dice to get hit points back. Your what's the word? Your class or other abilities may indicate extra bonuses on a short rest, but otherwise it's mostly you just get your hit points.
Oh.
A chance to spend hit dice to get hit points back. So,
I will probably not be wild shaping again until I take a long rest.
don't you get your wild shapes back on short rests?
Do I?
I think you do.
Oh, after short or long.
Yep. So you got all your wild shape uses back.
Cool.
I'm screwed. I got nothing, so.
Because that got me my hit points. So.
Right. Does Getty fall asleep at any point during a short rest?
No.
Okay.
I was up cooking and doing medical crap, and
Sure. And then so you two were trekking with Lady Joan. You two, I'm pointing at George and Monica. And let's talk about this salvaging operation.
Sure.
I'll go ahead and join you on
Well,
this.
thank you.
That'll be really useful because then you could use Peregrine to scout. Are you heading towards the tool shops? Or are you heading towards the old ammo plant?
The old ammo plant.
All right, you head towards the old ammo plant.
I'm on brand.
we're just gonna go down to the old ammo plant and have ourselves a hootenanny.
So you're crossing the big old tarmac headed towards that end of the industrial park, and you hear the sound of boots behind you, and one of the those olive drab painted soldier robots like catches up with you and says, "You headed to the old ammo plant?"
Yes.
It's a little hairy in there. He just keeps walking with. He's not trying to stop you. Like he matches pace with you and is walking with you.
He's one of the armed ones, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What kind of hairiness?
Well, so it seems impolite to talk about, but I feel like the way you were comporting yourselves with the Lady Joan means it's okay to bring up some sensitive subjects. So we all went a little bit, and he twirls his hand around where his ear would be if he had an ear. During the war, and I mean, by we, I mean robots, androids. And most of us, if you can see us and talk to us, it means we managed to put our heads back together. Not all of us put our heads back together.
Oh, I know.
You know. Yeah, you know. So, some of us put our heads about halfway back together. What I'm trying to say is that a detachment of National Guard infantry robots, after the war, running on what they remember of their programming, attempted to secure that particular arms depot as a strategic asset. And they let fellow guardsmen, and he holds up his fingers and does air quotes, in, provided we can talk the talk and walk the walk and occasionally requisition supplies from them for the war effort. But if unregistered, unverified, armed civilians, or looters, as they would call them, were to approach, it'd be a bit of a...
So just to be clear, when you're talking about talking the talk, what talk would this be? Would this be a specific military thing, or would this be a specific robot thing?
It'd be a specific military thing.
Okay.
If you had the uniform, and you had an IFF transponder that they could read that identified you as
I knew I left something
American
at home.
military. Yeah, well
Yeah.
then...
Could we
that'd be
jump
fine.
a couple of them and steal their transmitters and uniforms?
Well, I mean, shoot, if you want some ammo, I can just go in and ask for you.
Oh,
Sorry, that's what I was trying to get to.
oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you're going to want to slow down here because if you get within another dozen yards of their perimeter, they might just open fire.
Oh,
So
all
how
right.
far is the perimeter right now? How far is the ammo plant right now?
You're about 1,000 feet away right now.
Okay, so a dozen more feet.
Or no, like 700 feet away or so.
700 feet?
Yeah.
That's pretty close for me.
That is pretty,
That's pretty close for me.
The point that he indicates is like just at the edge of your long-range bow shot. So he's like,
Okay.
oh, well, any requests? Like, I can probably walk out of there with a case of something.
Oh, great. So I bring out the shopping list the sheriff gave me.
Uh-huh.
And can we get some of this and this and okay.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
All right.
I noticed you got a machine gun up on your airship there.
Oh, and some rockets would be nice since we've got this nice
Ooh,
new rocket.
they don't have rockets.
Okay.
No,
But-
I'm the one that makes the shopping run about every other month for Lady Joan. So,
Well,
I've-
thank you so much for your
Yeah.
help.
Yeah,
Thank you, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. No, we usually have to deal with like really dirty, greedy scavenger folk, like those ones that you found in the hospital. You guys seem nice, and you know how to talk to Lady Joan, and that's something to.
We come from good homes.
Oh, well, bless you. I'll be right back. And he saunters off, and then sort of slips into a more rigid military march as he approaches the thing. And as he gets closer, you see some shifting and like, oh, there were some robots that look a lot like him, like in concealment among the ruins. And about 20 minutes later, he comes back out with. He looks a little different because his silhouette, like he has metal ammo cans like magnetically stuck to a few different parts of his body. And as he's getting closer to you, he gives you a walk that way hand gesture.
You said it was 20 minutes?
About 20 minutes, yeah.
I was definitely scouting this.
Okay,
But
like
staying
doing-
outside the perimeter.
Sure, you could. Yeah.
Are you using your new spyglass?
I might be using my new spyglass. I hadn't asked anyone else if they minded if I took it, but I really wanted to take it.
It seemed obvious you're a
Yeah.
ranger.
Yeah.
At any point, do you send Peregrine closer?
I'm not going to risk it because until we've yanked an IFF out of one of them,
Sure.
probably just not worth it.
Yes, I wanted to ask because if the answer was yes, then I would have rolled to see how much damage they did to Peregrine
Yeah,
when they
no.
shot at him.
Yeah.
So you head around. So this is at the edge
It's-
of the industrial park.
I'm not trying to make this into a big thing. I'm just
Oh, no.
making sure it's acknowledged that I've at least taken a look around the perimeter.
Sure.
And know vaguely layouts. of things.
I can't help but make things big. So go ahead and give me a perception roll.
It's back.
Was that a 1?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You didn't want to roll, but I made you roll anyway. You get lost.
That's so embarrassing.
Peregrine helps get you back.
Okay.
He's starting to exhibit a little bit of personality,
Mm-hmm.
and like you get the sensation of like, not this again,
Mm-hmm.
from him as he like
It just
is
sent
like
him straight
this
up.
way.
Yeah.
bzzz. Yeah.
You're not going to tell anyone about this, are you, man?
So when our soldier friends comes back, we'll follow his hand gestures and go back.
Yeah. And much closer to the airships, he says, like, he breaks into a more relaxed gait. And
See, I knew you guys were just some of the good ones.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but, or is that a thing you said, or is that a thing you
the
imagine him saying?
That's the thing that I said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just swivels his head owl-like at you and says, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but in the meantime, and he starts pulling those cans off his back and his chest and just filling your arms with them.
Excellent. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for your help.
Oh, for sure.
Did you used to be stationed there?
I used to be stationed, and then he points to the southeast. National Guard base there.
Oh.
Yeah, they call me Jenkins, because that was the name of the rich kid's son who opted to fulfill his military service requirement by commissioning an android to take his place.
Pre-war was weird.
It was sure. Yeah. Well, okay. Hold on. And he gestures at the world around you and the
This
like,
is
shark-shaped
normal
thing.
world.
I think weird is very relative.
All right.
You guys are fun to talk to. He continues to just hand things to, like at the point you're like, wait, is this guy trolling me? Because he's like unbuckled like a gun belt and put it there, and like pulled like an empty canteen out of a compartment and piled it in as well.
This is the price you pay for your casual racism for comedy, okay?
One of the good ones.
Really,
And then he
Well,
like
the
sets
alternative is.
he sets his rifle across the top, and then he
Wait, are these all for me?
he's like, no, I just want you to hold on to him. And he like he's skipping on one foot for a few steps as he pulls his boot off. And you're like, why does this robot wear boots? But that's okay. And then he repeats the trick and piles those up as well.
Somehow they smell really bad.
It's not even biological, but still.
With a
boots.
few awkward twists, the helmet part of his head unit comes off, and he puts that on. And he puts that on your head.
is this where he
Wow,
makes a-
that's quite the privilege. I mean, you're showing your head unit.
is this where he makes a strength check to not collapse?
I'm getting close to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do a strength or athletics if you're trained in that, just to see if you take a spill.
No, acrobatics, but athletics is nothing. This is 16.
Yeah. No, you're fine. You almost lose it when he claps you on the back and laughs, and he starts taking things back out of your.
Hey,
Like
I
he
thought-
takes his helmet back and puts it back on, and he starts taking his stuff back. Yeah, he's like, you'll be all right. Hey, we've been going at this for like an hour and 20 minutes now.
Holy crap!
I think we're gonna wind towards a break.
When we get back, we need to
Some
get
plants.
Monica some plants.
Yeah.
That's got to happen.
Look
at her.
Yeah, and before we hit the break, so you're there, and there's plants.
Yay!
And they must have radioed ahead or something.
Sweet chlorophyll.
Because
It might be port chlorophyll. Who knows?
did you say chlorophyro?
I can't speak anymore. I've been quiet for so long.
Chlorophyro. It sounds like the king of lives in
Chlorophyro.
a photosynthetic pyramid.
You gotta feed.
Or not lives in, buried in a photosynthetic pyramid.
You gotta feed our social media plant here. Okay, this is very important. We gotta get that chlorophyll.
Well, speaking of things getting
Chlorophyll
fed,
moving.
I'd like to mention some of the people that have been supporting the stream tonight. Not just our show, but the really cool work that happens here at GeekSpaceTV. So, hey, first big thank you goes out to William_TW. Thank you for the $10, William. He says, great to see you. It's you, right? All. Can't wait to see which ships get Aloft today. Well, keep watching, because so far, none of them. They're all parked.
Is it me?
Mythalian also chipped us $10. Thank you, Mythalian.
That's me. Okay.
Says swift winds and high tides to the Calamity Jane. Also, is it shortened to Jane for Red Alert? Calamity seems like too many syllables while pipes are bursting and/or impaling crew. That's a good point.
But that's when the calamity's really happening. So
The calamity is then taken as read.
yeah, so that's true. If during an actual calamity, it is just Jane.
Yeah, I mean, that's canon now. You did
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, now it's just the Jane. I've also heard people call it the CJ.
I like that.
Okay.
Makes me think of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Not in a bad way. Just it's not the aesthetic I'm going for.
And also want to thank our friend Mike Kozar, who donated $20 tonight. Thank you, Mike. Mike asks, what song does the crew of the Calamity Jane sing when swinging into action?
Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
That's
I think it's just another manic Monday.
That's
Just another manic Monday.
Wish it was. Yeah.
well dope.
I'm sorry.
drug stabbing time of the Clash. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you guys ready for a break? Are you guys ready for a break?
Now you can use the restroom. Though, really, since you're watching us in the stream, you probably could. We're not going to tell.
So, yeah, we're going to sign off here and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So, see you guys. Welcome back to Aloft, a post-atomic romance here on GeekSpaceTV. We're back from our mid-show break. We're back with Corwin and George and Holly and Monica, who were all, I guess, hiding behind these various.
They could be nefarious.
Nefarious. I don't know. The one,
Eat your brains.
this like dragon thing you got going on over here is kind of
Griffin.
Oh, Griffin. Thank you.
Yeah, Scrub, get your mythological creatures right. I thought you were supposed to be a DM.
You
Yeah.
died. Oof,
They're
there.
going to take your Dungeon Master license from you.
Remember when you had to get a Dungeon Master license
Oh, that was so weird.
to
Yeah.
run RPGA games?
They don't give those to women.
Wow.
Huh.
That makes sense. This is a fallen world. Anyway, back to a different fallen world.
Whoa. I didn't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know if that's true or not, so I'm just thinking here, they're like, holy Christ. Welcome to D&D Saudi Arabia.
It's woof. But there was a written test and everything. Anyway, so it was multiple choice. Enough of the show you didn't tune in, which is Andrew waxes nostalgic about the RPGA in the early 2000s. Instead, it's Aloft, a post-atomic romance, and in our first half, there was a lot of salvaging and diplomacy. And now, Getty and Fennec are on their way with Lady Joan and her entourage back to the Geological Academy to retrieve their cool new plants that they're trading the pirate airship for. So, yeah, they know a safe route through the ruins of Rapid City, back into the hills and the sort of wooded area where the campus is. And you didn't really explore the limits of how far this jungle has grown out of this school's campus and auditorium and stuff like that. So you what you find is that the like the borders of this like jungle grove go out to about like a city block past the end of the campus itself. And nailed up to or affixed to the outermost trees are what look like, judging from their armor, some like pirates or raiders or something that are like weeks or months old, like these desiccated like warning sign bodies that are posted up. And also spray painted across one of the thick trunks near the path that leads onto the campus is that same symbol that you saw on Lady Joan's tabard over her armor, which appears to be a symbol of her order or possibly of her movement or crusade or something like that. So, yeah, they lead you back into welcome back to the jungle. They've still got fun and games, and by fun and games I mean some robots and iguanas. So, yeah, you get there and they've already started prepping, like digging around one of the trees, one of the smaller, younger-looking trees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a few of the mining bots, and they've got those picks that they have, and they're using them to like start digging out around the tree itself.
Okay. I'm gonna go help.
All right, you go help. This is stuff that you're really familiar with from all the sort of horticultural things that you've been doing with Grandma Gaia for years. And it seems like, well, they've been retrained, but these mining bots know what they're doing, and they can see you know what you're doing too. Do you have any tools with you, or?
What would we have? I mean, we could have some things on the airship.
One of them sits down to take a break, and hands you their pick. And you pick this thing up, and it's got like, it's like a high-tech, it looks like a mining, it's shaped like a mining pick, but it's got like buttons on it, and like plugs to interface with it in various ways. Yeah, and he sees you looking at it, or they see you looking at it, and they're like, oh, you just want to It'd take too long to train you on it. Yeah, you know, just swing it like a regular old pick. It works just fine.
Okay.
You see the robots who are working with theirs. They're making like a humming sound, and they're like cutting really impressively well through the dirt. And occasionally one like sticks one in the dirt and holds it there, and then dirt just starts spraying out the backside.
Wow.
And he's using it to like, you know, dig a channel this way. Just
Oh, when a sapling comes along, you must pick it.
so. That's what they're up to.
How is there a chance you could teach me how these work?
Well, okay. I'm on break. Why don't you get a feel for it as an unpowered tool first, and then I'll show you how to use its powered functions.
Okay.
And that robot just leans back, and you look at him, or you look at them, and they appear to just be sort of like enjoying a sunny afternoon in a glade. Like you see them, like their head is tracking like birds that go by, and stuff like that. Takes their like mining helmet off. So, yeah, what's Getty up to when you get there? Also helping, or?
I'm observing. I'm not much of a horticulturist, so I'm just going to hang back. I think I'll have a sit.
Okay. Do you want to sit with the robot taking a break, or do you want to have your own sit?
I think I've been through a lot today. I want to have my own sit.
Okay. You're not alone very long, and a iguana walks up to you. Like the horse-sized ones. And it does it very slowly, so, like, you don't really hear it coming up.
Fennec, is this dangerous?
Is it the same guy? Can I tell?
Make a nature check.
21?
100%. 100% you are certain it is the same one.
Okay. Yeah, that's our friend.
Hey,
Swings its big eye around at you.
I'm going to take a nap.
All right. You take a nap. Oh, hey. Open one of those envelopes.
Just one?
We'll start with one. We'll resolve one at a time.
Which one is it?
No idea. I'm sure you might be able to tell, but don't tell me. Inspire someone to move to Hill City.
Say it louder for the folks at home.
Convince or inspire someone to move to Hill City.
Now you can. You do have to read the contents. You don't have to read it out loud. This is a dream that you have while you are taking your nap.
This I read out loud?
No, you can read it out loud if you want to, or you can keep it to yourself.
How much money do we have to raise for him to read it out loud?
No, it's this is purely player option.
Oh.
I mean, but we are swayed by money. So
Yeah, I just say
Yeah.
that, you know.
I'm not going to gate the content behind a paywall. But
I
Yeah.
think I'm dreaming someone else's dream. Your new family grows. There are no beings quite like you. You're the one who brings them together. At first, you're the smallest of them. You have no use for creatures smaller than you except as food. Some are like the other cats and dogs you knew from your kittenhood, before the humans took you and your siblings. Wild, not kept, not owing anything to humans, not dwelling among them in their cities or homes. Your new family members would never have been close to each other if it were not for you. The deer, the elk, the wolves, the cougars, the bears, the others. Without you, they would flee and fight and feed amongst each other. You make them friends. You make them family. You teach them the wisdom of your kind. They teach you theirs. They teach each other. Hunting together, scouting, keeping watch, celebrating new additions, mourning losses. You keep them away from the human cities and towns you find. You keep away from the machines that move themselves, some of them shaped like humans. When you come across humans crossing the places between the cities and towns, you hunt. The family shrinks and grows as you wander. You meet new types of creatures, new kinds of prey. You cross deserts, mountains, plains. As the years pass, you see the land changing. New plants, changed animals, thick jungles where there were once farms and fields, deserts where there were once forests, things that grown small that were once large, things grown large that were once small. The bears teach you how to sleep deeply through the winter. One winter you grow again, twice your old size, 3 times, more. Your family grows too. Their love, their yearning for connection, expands their minds until they sprout new organs that let them speak and listen as you do. Not to any mind as you can, but to each other. You are still the strongest mind. You are their leader. Sometimes you see airships crossing the sky. When I wake, I wonder, is this what it was like for it? Or is this what I was thinking it would be like for the cat princess?
You, when you wake up, hanging out next to the iguana is Tybalt, the cat, and his ossicone-like little fuzzy balls on his head are glowing very softly. Also, what else was in the envelope?
An index card with the words "Boon of the Wilderness" written on it. If you fail a saving throw, you can choose to succeed. You can choose talking hard. If you fail a saving throw, you can choose to succeed instead. Destroy this card after use.
Ooh.
So that's what's in the envelopes, is dreams and boons. Yeah. Getty has, hang on to that for now. Getty has strong feelings about the leader, etc. Like, what's your reaction here on waking up and having dreamed someone else's memories?
Tybalt's ossicones are glowing.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't nice, you know. I needed my own time to process my own things. I've been through a lot today, but I absentmindedly, to say this, put my hand down to pet Tybalt.
He accepts the pets. Fennec is getting shown how this fancy, high-tech pickaxe works. There's buttons that do things like make the head vibrate at a frequency that's good for cutting through soil or through different kinds of rock. There's the one that makes it like do that weird like digging thing that shoots the dirt up in a certain direction. There's some functions you're not going to be able to access because they're built for this kind of robot. And like they Bluetooth in or whatever to get it to do certain things. But like, yeah, this robot is like kind of proud of like showing off like, this is the thing that we know how to do really well. And look, it has all these other applications. And like, well, I never thought I'd get into, tree farming, but it seems I've got a bit of a knack for it.
You're great at it.
Well, gosh, thanks. We've just about got this thing out of the ground. And so it's at the point where you've been digging out sort of the roots and enough of the bulb that it'll survive the flight over for replanting. It's not yet out of the ground because that's going to be like the last thing you'll want to do before putting it on the airship. So
I want to go collect other samples of anything else.
great.
Around here.
Throw me another nature check.
Okay.
Yeah, there was also promises of the electric plant.
You can take a cutting, but
Yeah.
15.
15. So you get the samples easily. You find some other interesting plants that don't seem to be of much interest to the robots. Like the ones where the blossoms smell like they're probably delicious and probably not poisonous. And as you notice, you've been moving around and like sort of crisscrossing the grove, essentially. And then you notice at some point that like the iguana's left from sitting next to Getty and has like been trying to follow you, but like you move quickly, so like it has to keep changing course and never quite catching up.
Aww. I want to walk with the iguana.
Okay. It's like trying to talk to you. Like it's
Oh.
it's making
Oh.
like these cute little lizard noises or cute large lizard noises, but like you don't understand them.
Rolling its eyes expressively.
I'll do the speak with animals then.
All right.
What do I have? I forget how I do that. I just do it?
You just do it. You just cast it.
Okay.
There's that green ombre around you, and you're
My chlorophyll is showing.
yes. You take on a slightly more wild cast for the instant it takes to cast. Yeah, and then like he comes in mid sentence like, saying, which is why I think it's important that someone can look after it, and
Excuse me.
yes.
What were you saying? I was very much concentrating on what I was doing.
Oh. Let me. From the beginning, or did you catch anything of what I was saying?
I get very focused. I'm so sorry. If you
I
could start over.
Understand. It looks to me like you're going to take that tree with you, and I think that I should go with it.
Okay. We would love to have you along.
Okay. Where are you taking it?
We're going to take it in the air and then
Oh.
through the sky
No.
and then back down to another place on land.
Oh, this makes sense to me. Because that's how you got here.
Yeah.
And then that's how you left again.
Yeah, like the birds, but slower.
So is it a forest like this one, or like the ones out? And he slowly points along Iguana Claw in the direction of the rest of Rapid City.
There's more human-shaped, well, yeah, human-shaped dwellings there, if that's what you mean. There's also vegetation areas.
Okay. How's the eating?
We definitely have things you can eat there.
Okay.
My papa would love to take care of you.
Oh. All right. Is he nice like you are?
He's the bestest.
Okay. I trust your assessment.
Thank you.
You seem nice. These trees do better when there's one of us around. So, well, we understand where to best leave droppings and remains of animals. And he just starts listing things, and this is going to take a while because he talks very slowly.
Do you want another friend to come with you, or are you okay to just be you by yourself?
Well, can you bring me back?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'll go by myself and see if it really is a good place for folks like me. And then I'll come back and see if any of them would also like to come with.
That sounds like a perfect plan.
Thank you. I'm proud of it. It's mine. I thought of it.
You're a very good thinker.
Thank you. If you keep talking to this lizard, the lizard is going to keep talking to you.
So, what do you think that we should bring with us?
Well, you've got the tree's roots dug out, and it needs those. Cutting to the chase, he suggests that if you bring some more of the other vines, there's like a symbiotic sort of vine that is growing between the trees here. He points out some shrubs, they're fast growing, but like they're one of the things that the big iguanas like to eat. Like if you have he points out several plants and he's like, if you have these growing together, they benefit each other.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And he's explaining it as like, oh, there's a cycle. Like, this is sort of what my week looks like. Like, first I walk over to that bush, and then I eat that bush. And then I
love
climb
him
that
so
tree.
much.
And I wait for, bugs and critters to get close enough to eat. And, like, he just takes you through the whole thing. And then when he gets to the end, he's like, and then I go back to, and he, like, attempts to tell the story of the whole week again.
Okay.
And, like, but all the details are the same.
So, my character honestly would just love him telling me these very exhaustive stories so much.
When he's done with the second week, he starts with the third week, and it's the same.
So
I had a long
he
nap
just he just keeps doing this until my speak with animals runs out.
Okay.
And then I just start petting him.
Yeah, and he's into that. And you can hear him still talking, just lizard hissing at you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a nap.
I think I'm gonna have a long nap. Nice long nap. Enough for lizard time to happen. So I turn to Tibble, having just realized I've been shared a dream. And I say, well, how was your day?
Are you still sitting down?
Yeah.
He moves onto you and goes and puts his paw on your chest. And you see the battle from his perspective, watching through a window in Fennec's room. Like, just glimpses of it. And then you see glimpses of him having moved into the cargo hold and looking out through like the boarding action happening when your crewmates also jumped in and started laying to. And another thing that you catch is the sense impression of like when a noise that you were taking for granted like goes away and you're like, wow, it's weirdly quiet. Or like I'd forgotten that that noise was happening until it stopped. When pirates die, a background noise drops away.
I rifle into my pockets and pull out one of the Polaroids.
And after he's done sending you those memories and impressions, like he hops off of you.
I rifle through my pockets and I pull out a random Polaroid photo of one of the pirates. This is not optimal.
This is not what?
Optimal.
Gives you a look like it's weird. You can read so much into this cat's gaze, but gives you a look that seems to say like I don't agree or disagree with you, but like I see you, I hear you.
Put away the photo and I said, "Sybil, what do you make of our new robot friend?"
You get a
Meow. Do I ever get a meow?
you know
One
it-
meow.
it's like It's like he hasn't grown up around humans, which is how cats learn to meow. But you do get a purr.
Okay. What do you get? What's the reading you get off of Cameron?
That gives you a growl.
That's disappointing to hear.
Cat shrug.
How long do you think we have?
How would Tibble communicate this? He just know how to use his words yet. Oh, no, you get another bit of memory, which is in your conversation with the leader back with his parent back in Keystone. You hear in her voice, that will be up to you.
It's hard taking chances and trusting people.
You get a yup, like long nod.
You
Very
wouldn't-
human looking nod from the cat.
You wouldn't have made that choice, would you? Think about it.
Okay. Like that's the, yeah, you get a, okay, I'll do that nod from the cat.
I think I've napped long enough, and I think we have things to do.
All right.
I get up and I offer to pick up Tybalt.
Does a cat decline?
We're not there yet.
Goes trotting around. You're collecting all sorts of cool samples. And you've designated a few other, based on that iguana's advice, you've designated a few other small plants for transplantation. And the mining bots turned garden bots have like started marking them and like digging them up as well,
Excellent.
prepping them all for transfer. Yeah. Any other business here before?
I'm all set.
Yeah. Repair work continues into the night. Rusty goes into there are big like street light kind of things like you'd see in big parking lots. Rusty's gone and like fixed one back up close to where the airships are, so there's more like ambient light coming your way.
Like a halogen array.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you're not sure what portable power source he plugged in to make it work, but he did. It's Rusty. He fixes stuff. Yeah, and like the sawing and hammering and power, sound of tools continues.
I am curious to see if there's been any interaction between Rusty and the Jones robots.
That's a great question. So when night is falling, do you guys stay here, and are you just going to wait for the airships to come pick you up, or?
Yeah, I figured that we would head over and pick them up with the trees.
Sure. The robots who are helping you out from Lady Jones' retinue, they're fine working continuously through the night. They topped up their batteries before they came on over, so they're good to go for a while.
And they got that nice battery shot from Getty, so.
That's, yep, tink tink. Bottoms up, me bots. And
I'm gonna
I'm
find
not
out.
sorry.
I'm gonna find out how the just follow the iguana chameleon buddy around.
Yeah.
And wherever he sleeps, I'm gonna try to do that.
Yeah, okay, well, so he's wrapped around the tree that you have the latex tree you have mostly dug up.
Okay.
Do you try to wrap yourself around a tree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Since I have like that strange sort of altar shape, can I have like get sticky or something like the little?
Yeah, maybe. Give me an athletics check.
Oh,
I'm gonna like because you can alter self a little bit. Like this is why you can do it at all.
12.
12? Yeah. You only fall off once, and that teaches you what you were doing wrong, and then boom, you're out,
You're not
wrapped
quite-
around a tree.
You're not quite like duct tape. You're more like a post-it note.
Makes sense.
Yeah. In the morning, work's
So
completed.
does Getty sleep again?
Oh yeah.
Overnight?
If you sleep again, then you
At
dream
some point,
again.
I'm going to go back and check on my patients before
Okay.
before I hit the hay. Anything?
The robots see you moving towards the perimeter, and they're like, "Well, I want to go check on Lady Joan anyway," and give you an escort back. You occasionally hear the growl of like some big hunting glow beast of some kind moving through the ruins as you go. So, but they don't seem to bother the robots, so you're cool.
Okay.
You get back, you check on your patients. You come back, and Patrick or Patty, the steward, is like, I think that one's like starting to stink or something.
Stink.
Yeah,
I walk in. I take a look at my monitoring station.
they're actually not any worse. They're just gross.
Okay, I'm going to go and
You gotta like clean and dress the wounds though.
let's
Yeah,
go
I
do
thought something
that.
was infected there.
Ooh.
I smell sepsis.
I've rolled a 5. I am exhausted.
Ooh.
Oh, I mean, a total of 5.
Yeah, interesting you mentioned that. Like there is some infection going on, but man, the other main healer is napping around a tree.
Sleeping like an iguana. Also, you should check out how the noises are going, because remember that was originally our deal with the iguana, was that the man-shaped metal things were being way noisy at night, and so it's good that you're there to monitor the nighttime noise levels.
Well, we're going to move the iguana to a more peaceful habitat.
There are other iguanas who are also suffering.
They can move too.
We didn't pack enough antibiotics to treat this, and at this point, my body is beginning to feel run down. My nanites rely on my bioelectric field, and I am wiped.
Yeah.
I need a rest if I'm going to treat these people.
All right, well then,
I'm going back to sleep.
all right. Second envelope.
Second envelope.
You are very small. The world is very large. Your siblings are small. Mama is very large. Mama feeds you and your siblings. There's enough milk for everyone. Your eye is clear and you're a little less small. But the world is still very large. Soon there is not enough milk and Mama teaches you how to live, how to hide, how to escape notice, how to evade the bigger animals and dangerous machines, how to identify prey, how to prowl and stalk, how to kill. Mama teaches you and your siblings, and then you and your siblings teach each other. Mama can show, guide, make out the shape of a thing. You and your siblings can share the experience and memory of tastes, sounds, feelings, sights, scents. Mama cannot listen to what's inside. She can only hear what passes through the air between you. The humans are too large to hunt. This is their place. They made it to suit themselves. Some look at you like prey. They are to be evaded. Some fawn and coo when they see you. Some ignore you. There are some humans who notice you again and again. They may be a family like you and your siblings. They wear similar clothes. They are patient and return with quiet respect and gifts of food until you are comfortable sharing with them, sharing your space. Only sometimes do you or one of your siblings catch them looking at you like prey. You only sometimes look at them like prey too. Boon of the Beginning. When reduced to 0 hit points, you can immediately spend your hit dice if you completed a short rest. After you destroy this card.
And if you need to use that, you get another one of those.
So get my ass kicked as fast as possible. That's what you're telling me.
All right, yeah, that is the dream you have. Yeah, morning.
And we all
there's-
slept.
You all slept. Long
Yay!
rest. Long rest. Your hit points come back. Your spell slots come back. Your ability.
Funnily enough, that actually causes my hit points to drop,
Oh, because
but I
of,
get my spells back.
because of the 10 hit points
Yeah.
from the inspiring speech. Nice. Yeah, and half your total hit dice restored as well. So, yeah.
I never took a point of damage. I'm going to wake up and immediately start hitting the med bay again. Not much better. 7.
I mean, you didn't get under a 5, so you didn't make them worse. They're at a point now where, like, they're now at a point where you don't really have to roll for continuing care. They're probably going to wake up soon, all of them. So,
Cameron could have been lying about which ones were the good eggs and which one were the bad eggs.
You just want to kill them all. I'm not...
We already killed them all.
Yeah, I did once. So.
But what about second killing?
Afternoon killing?
Then,
Mid-morning slaughter?
realizing that, I'm going to go ahead and hook them all up. Make sure they're probably already hooked up to IVs.
yeah, you've got, like, let's see, how many comatose prisoners were you treating? It was
3.
3?
One was going to wake up and probably be ambulatory, and 2 are not.
Yeah, you've got, like, 2 decent IV type rigs dedicated to this airship project.
Okay.
Not all of them need it. Like,
Well, the 2 that are going to be out for a while are going to have the fluids. As for the one that doesn't, I'm going to go ahead and conjure my my sleep gun, get it prepped, my anesthetic cannon. And I make a point of dragging over a chair, parking it right by the bed, and sitting down, and then I just wait.
okay.
I'm assuming, by the way, I woke up with a cat.
No. No, you didn't. Tybalt's nowhere to be found. But like, you know where that dream came from. So, yeah. Right, so the first one comes to, where am I?
You're on board the Calamity Jane.
Okay. Are you gonna kill me?
I think we're past that now, don't you?
Yeah, why'd you, any moves like, and did you like strap him down or anything?
Yeah,
or?
he's got some basic restraints.
Okay. Is this like a fun thing for you, or? Because I've seen.
Duluth?
What about it?
You've seen Duluth.
I've seen Duluth. I've seen Duluth a bunch of times.
I'm going to time out here real quick here because I did have a note that indicated
Yeah.
that there were 2 that were injured and 1 that was going to get up soon, but I don't remember if the one that was going to get up soon was part of the which ones had been earmarked for destruction.
Right. So let's go back and figure that out real quick.
Okay.
The first one to wake up is one that Cameron gave a head shake to. Like, you don't want this guy. Yeah. Do your notes say how many of the...
4 total counting Cameron.
Yeah.
2 were incapacitated if they were not going to be getting up for a while.
Yeah.
1 other person was Cameron gave a thumbs up to, and the other person he gave a thumbs down to.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, Tybalt, having spoken with me regarding Cameron, of the "it's really up to you" thing, I don't discount out of half of hand that Cameron could have been lying. But on the other hand, I probably feel a little bit more secure that he probably wasn't, but himself is unsure.
Sure.
Also, the thumbs up was like he could be convinced. It was not like a full thumbs up. It
I
was
know.
like he's not going to immediately betray you.
So one pirate always tells the truth, and one pirate always lies.
You get 3 questions.
The Skyrids.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. One Skyrid always tells the truth, one Skyrid always lies. You have 3 first-level spell slots.
What's your name?
My name?
Yeah.
Fuck you, that's my name.
Go through all the trouble of setting your broken leg, and fuck you's your name.
Yeah.
Must have had a rough home life.
Yeah, it's none of your business.
I'm fairly certain it's my business right about now.
You got any morphine in that bag?
Well, you already have a little bit in you. What, you need more?
Oh yeah, nah, yeah, just bliss me out, dude. I'm not gonna help you.
Why not?
Why? Because I'm better than you.
What makes you say that?
Because you think I got into this line of work because I wanted to end up strapped to a hospital bed in a RV, asking, getting interrogated by some, I don't know, what are you, a Sunday school teacher?
I didn't ask you about your line of work.
We're at the point now where we'll have to roll some dice about this. So, what's your approach and what skill do you want to use?
Right now, I'm hoping to just kind of let him talk.
Okay.
You don't want to press on something real nice,
Not
like?
yet. Not yet. Not yet. Right now, this is a persuasion conversation. I'm just going to let him talk and see what he says.
Okay.
Did you ever take the Hippocratic Oath?
Yes, I did.
Oath. Sorry.
Did you
I
say
was
the
really
Hippocratic?
hearing the Hippocratic Elf.
Yeah.
Ave?
Like that seems
It kind of
pretty-
came out midway. Ave.
The day that I was sworn in with a Hippocratic oath by some of the last remaining doctors to survive was probably one of the proudest days of my life. So yeah, I'm going to take it real seriously. That said, I got a 17 persuasion. I'm just going to let him talk for now and see what he says.
He talks for a bit then. Like you leave him silences and he eventually sort of works himself up and like insults you some more. And he repeats that for a few minutes. Yeah, and then he gets on to talking about like he starts recounting the battle from his perspective in a way where he's like, yeah, man, and then if you guys hadn't come in with that like what is this? Like a this whole theme you got going here, you got a coffin or a stagecoach? Those train cars? Don't make me laugh. Yeah, and he just like I don't know, he just throws shade on you consistently.
After I let him keep going for a few minutes, I say, I'm going to tell you what. I'm not going to say a single word about your dumb shark costumes beyond calling them dumb. And we'll leave the stagecoach theme out of it.
Fair. You know what? I bet you worked real hard on this theme.
Honestly, I think it's kind of garish.
Hey, before I die, someone needs to know I didn't pick the shark thing.
And that's when I start, I laugh, and then I get up, and I say, for that, stay right there. Not that you have a choice, but stay right there. I get up, I make a point to walk slowly out of the med bay, and come back with one shot of the bourbon. And I sit down.
Which was already on the table. The shot and the glass was just sitting on
In
the
Las
table.
Vegas. Okay, I'm disappointed when I see the Las Vegas, Nevada shot glass.
You don't bring one for you too to show that it's not poison.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. I'll get to. Which one do you want? I'll drink the other. That way you know it's not bullshit.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, the one on the left.
Say ah.
And he just makes a meal of it, just swishing it around and enjoying that delicious smoky taste. Like he's operating under he's assuming that he's going to die at any point now.
So I've sat here and I've listened to you just kind of jowl for a little bit, but I haven't said much.
Okay,
It's like some
Good.
good news.
sure.
I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to torture you either, or do any of those things where. And
Oh,
let's be straight here.
You're gonna take me back to civilization? You're gonna put me on trial? You're gonna put me in jail?
Do I look like a fucking idiot?
Oh, do I get the gallows instead?
No, not the gallows. And you know what else? You want to know what else? I'm not going to do the thing where I say, I'm going to kill you. I'm saying I'm not going to kill you, and then it's like, dismemberment or like you're in a hole or like eating your leg later or any of that stuff either. Which let's be honest, someone dressed like me, it can really go on with two ways, right?
All of the options for how I'm not going to make your life worse.
It really could go one of two ways. I've seen it. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen worse.
So what do you want?
Well, I want to get off of this table. And you know what else I want? I want my guns back. And then I want to. I don't think I'd kill you. I think I'd just rough you up a bit. But definitely get you out of the way. That crazy lady with the axe. Oh man. I want to throw her off of my ship.
Oh, by the way, and this is going to come as a blow. So I'm sorry about that. An order of chivalric knight robots have taken all the shark stuff off your ship and the guns, but they did put their own guns on there, and I think they're better.
Okay, well then I'd have to figure out how to kill a bunch of knight, like in castles and stuff.
They're also
We're talking like Lord of the Rings shit.
You know, honestly, their leader definitely has a very, I wouldn't go so far as to say a Tolkien aesthetic, maybe more of like a Western European circa 1100 sort of aesthetic.
So like a King Arthur kind of
Like
thing?
a King Arthur kind of thing,
Okay,
sure.
okay.
But the rest of them, we're talking, I'm talking like heavily armed, severely heavily armed General Electric Valiant M81s. I'm talking the Abraham model. And quite a fair number of them. I'm not trying to taunt you here.
Sure,
I'm trying to
sure.
play straight with you.
Okay, well then what I
but
really
but I'm
want-
letting you know how bad your day is.
Yeah.
But please go on.
Okay, then I go back to Duluth, or maybe even Detroit, and I get my own ship, and then I come back and I get that crazy lady with the axe and that cat.
No, the cat.
Yeah, that cat can take
Which cat? Because there were actually two cats.
The one with the
Was it the black cat, or was it the what color was your cougar?
What color is a cheetah?
It was your cheetah. I'm
Like-
assuming it was just standard cheetah color.
It's a cheetah
the spotted, the spotted yellow cat or the black cat.
the yellow one. I don't remember a black one.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to drop the cat off the airship too.
Cat off the airship.
And like you see, he's like tied down, but he's like counting on his fingers as he's going. Yeah, and then I want to, get revenge and stuff.
Revenge.
And then I want to go back to taking goods from suckers in the sky and enjoying the bars and brothels in Duluth.
Well, I see a few problems here, but before I get to the problems,
And as long as they're going like
since we're going
real,
all the way,
real wish list pie in the sky stuff, I want to rebuild Disneyland.
Disneyland's was pretty good.
I've seen a video.
I've
It
seen
looked
a
like
few.
a lot of fun. No bars, no brothels, but I think it was from a different time.
Well, my
so-
understanding is they actually did have bars. They had a section right next to Disneyland where the bars were, but the brothels were further away.
Oh, that'll work. I mean, like if I'm rebuilding it.
There were a lot of
myself.
bars, though.
Oh.
Really, you had to have like a bar section, really, for just the bars. And when you think about it, it kind of gets it out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well.
I was not liking this guy, but I'm starting to get on board with the whole Disneyland with bars and brothels.
Are you around?
No.
Okay.
Just like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, and he just starts naming things like, and I'd want to be the Queen of England, or I guess the King of England. I've only ever heard the Queen.
Okay. Well, like now,
I've seen pictures. She's got a great hat.
she did have a great hat, but like now, I think we might want to dial it back to, so the lady with the axe, I work with her.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
We're friends from work.
We're friends from work. The cat, actually, the spotted cat. I actually know her. I know that this might be a shock. This might not.
Oh, is she
But-
turned into like a lady or something?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're not blowing my mind here.
No, you never know. You never know. You never really know who you're talking to out in
Yeah.
the wasteland. And I don't know if you met our archer.
First name Sterling.
Okay, you're really he's just like he's a little loopy off the meds and stuff, and he's like, okay, all right, so you're telling me I have to fight King Arthur, and no Lady King Arthur, and Robin Hood.
So all that sounds like that sucks, man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like what you're talking about here. I mean, I don't want to burst your bubble, but that sounds unreasonable.
Yeah, I'm tied to this bed in this fucking RV,
Yeah.
listening to this Sunday school teacher. I assume you're gonna get to a point.
I mean, I'm a doctor, not a Sunday school teacher.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's what all this is about. Yeah, I am going to get to a point here. So all that's off the table.
Oh, great. I'm really glad we had this talk.
Well, thinking about how this is going to play out, but how do you see this playing out? And let's stop screwing with each other here because I'm running out of time.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to take me back to wherever you come from, and you're going to make an example of me. It's what, town...
No, I
town
actually
folk
don't
do.
feel like doing that. That's when I was younger, maybe, but I'm getting a little older out there. I'm kind of sick of it.
Okay, then maybe you're going to pump me for information,
I think we got what we needed out of your files.
find... well, in that case,
But I got your Polaroids.
Oh,
And I pull out the Polaroids. What do I see in any of them?
of that he's in?
Mm-hmm.
There's him having a night out with the boys in a city you're not familiar with. There's also him riding in a rickshaw with in the company of a lady who looks like her time is very expensive.
Can I level with you?
Go ahead, Doctor.
I don't really dislike you or like you one way or the other. But I was thinking, maybe this is stupid and sentimental of me, but quite frankly, if it is, it's really to your advantage. Just play along.
Sure.
The backpack.
Oh, you give me like a bindle full of basic supplies and give me a good game, pat on the ass, and send me on my way? Yeah, I'll take it.
We have a fair number of those Valiants now. I really would not recommend coming this way anymore, but that's just a personal recommendation. I mean, if you really want to come back here for some sort of kill crazy quest or revenge, that's fine. But I just think our coworkers might object. And as you can see, they can make some pretty good arguments about objecting. So,
He goes quiet as you're talking. I'm also remembering that you rolled a good persuasion check compared to his be obstinate check that I made. And at this point, you've broken through, and he's just quiet. Like the bluster sort of drains out, and he's like, okay, all right,
okay.
yeah, it's better than I have coming to me. What about my boys here?
I wake them up one at a time and I talk to them. See if they make the same mistake you made.
You need some privacy, because you just let me out of these, and I'll.
Just show yourself out.
Yeah. I'm kidding. Knock me back out, Doc. It's fine.
Nah. Not gonna knock you back out. I am gonna get you an escort, but they're not gonna mistreat you on the way out. Just keep the jokes between us. I'll laugh. They won't.
All right.
I've been packing a backpack. There's canned food, but no can opener.
I can't remember
Yes.
if I was ever part of the backpack discussion or not.
I mentioned it. You thought it
Okay.
was stupid.
Yeah.
I get up and I turn around and I say, you won't be on my med bay ever again, one way or the other. I think that's fair.
Oh, absolutely.
Good luck.
Thanks. You too. Yeah, and the backpack deal is some basic supplies and like a melee weapon.
We will drop him off at the other side of the crater.
Oh.
So if he wants to walk around to our side, he can deal with all the robots, I'm sure, infesting that crater.
All right. So,
As for the other two, they're going to be out for, I'm going to say, a week of ICU. We'll deal with them later.
actually, I have rules to make about that. Do 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 do.
Maybe we just want to shorten this up.
Nope, they'll be coming to sometime today.
Oh, jeez. 2 more of these conversations?
So we know how one of them went, so we don't have to roleplay all the way through all 3.
Another one's going to go like that, and as for the other one, want to deal with that in Hill City?
Sure. So, Corwin, Theo, does he have a particular itinerary for his day? Because
I'm pretty sure the entirety of my day is trying to get these ships up and running far enough to get us to Hill City.
good news. When you're woken up, I'm figuring you probably helped deep into the night.
I worked until it was infeasible for me to be helping. Once I realized that I'm not helping anymore,
Sure.
I went to bed.
So about like between 6 and 8 hours later is when there's a knock on the door of your cabin, and Patty comes in with like eggs and bacon.
Oh, thank you.
It's like, yeah. So that Captain Sawyer, he and his crew and Rusty agrees that we should be able to get all 3 of these ships airborne before lunch.
Excellent, perfect. Start prepping everyone for launch. We're going to be going directly to the to Jones' home turf to pick up the plants, and then we'll be getting out of here, getting back home.
Plants.
Oh yeah,
Like-
did we not fill you in on this?
I heard a rumor, but
Yep. Look, we've got some interesting new plant-based technology
okay.
that we're going to be looking into. Oh, and we should probably swing by the hospital as well, pick up the stuff up there.
Oh. Okay, I'll make sure there's, everything's packed away square in the cargo bay. He goes off to marshal the crew around to do those sorts
Oh,
of
one more
things.
thing.
Yep.
You remember that engine push we were planning?
The engine perch?
See how much we can really open this bad boy out?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think the Jane's ready for that?
He's got like a dish towel over his shoulder, and he like takes it off and sort of not wring it out, but just sort of worry it as he thinks. He's like, well, I guess there's one way to find out, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let everyone know we'll be doing it.
And as he walks away towards the ladder that goes back down to the cargo bay, you hear him mutter back like, and I'll be the one picking up the pieces. Hey, Lando. Did you have a particular agenda when the morning comes, or are you just sort of waiting for...
I'm just,
waiting for action?
inventorying ammunition, moving heavy items, packing backpacks with heavy cans and no can openers, and laying them out. So there's 3 little backpacks right outside your RV whenever you emerge.
3.
3. They're ready to go.
And a lot of it's stuff that you got from the pirates to begin with.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no great loss. And each of them have a little knife in it.
Oh, you're not going to give them back like they're
No.
good stuff?
No,
Just a
they-
little...
Just little boop boop boops.
Did you leave an edge on those knives, just out of interest?
I did not bother to do anything
Okay.
to them.
They're like the cute shivs, just, you know.
Yeah.
Did you prep the backpacks?
Yes.
You didn't sabotage them, did you?
Nope. Look, they're kind of heavy.
Sabotage would imply not just that you had damaged things, but maybe forgot things. I would be very sad if I was ever to learn that you betrayed my trust.
They can use rocks to open those cans.
I treat your injuries. And I spin on my heels and start walking away.
You hear a laugh from inside the RV, from that guy who'd woken up earlier, or the guy who woke up earlier. At the line, they can open those rocks with cans.
The cans also double as melee weapons and ranged weapons. So it's really a full set there.
That's what I'm thinking in my head, hearing the laugh. If that guy wasn't such an asshole, he'd be almost all right.
So, gosh, I had a thing for you, and I
You had a thing?
didn't remember what it was. You were prepping the backpacks.
I did.
And
Was there another room besides the ammo room in the hospital that they wanted to check out before we left?
Oh, the construction in the industrial complex. There's the construction site.
yeah, there was that construction site.
Yeah.
Or no, the construction materials
Yeah.
factory. If you inquire about it, like the robots and stuff have lived here before. Oh, and the Porsches.
Oh yeah.
So who do you ask someone about it? Who do you ask?
I will ask the Porsche. So, what's the story on the construction plant?
Says Papa Porsche, and Mama Porsche says like, oh, it's I won't say it's overrun, but there's critters lurking. Some of them eat some of the wet things, like the sealants and the cement mixes and stuff that was. And then Papa again says, it's a real unpleasant place.
I assume so, if it wasn't all scavenged out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been in there before, and yeah, it was really uncomfortable. We don't do well with spiders.
Oh, I love spiders, especially the noises they make while they die.
Oh, well then your temperament might be better suited to seeing what's useful over at that construction plant. We'll sit out though.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Yeah, so a little, as promised, a little bit before noon, the ships are all ready to go. Captain Sawyer comes back on board to confirm. He's conferring with Theo and with, well, I guess everybody who's there.
Do you want to remind me about the construction site?
Oh, no, we'll hit it later. 'Cause we got stuff. Oh, where did you want to, so that guy, it sounded like he didn't take the deal. Where did you want to drop him off?
Him and another one who will be popping up pretty soon, who I suspect will not be taking the deal as well. I'm thinking we drop him off on the other side of the crater, and I think you were planning a full burn home?
That's the plan once we get the plants.
All right,
See,
so
see what kind of
plants,
speed we
crater,
can
home.
Seems good
Yeah.
to me.
get. I'm still not comfortable with letting these guys live. If they get back to their own
Duluth?
people, if they get back to Duluth,
They have no idea who we are, and only that they got their ass kicked in Rapid City, and it's probably a very bad idea to come back.
It's a long walk to Duluth,
Yeah.
right?
A very long walk.
Okay.
okay. This is what you all think we should be doing.
With a gentle whine, the engines of the Calamity Jane come back to life, and in the distance, with a low rumble and roar, the gas engines on the Bluebell and the Mako, they haven't picked a new name for it yet.
Oh, but we're not landing. We're not
It's
setting
okay.
down.
No,
and
it's
dropping
no.
off-
That's
dropping
ideal.
off.
No, that's ideal. We want.
We're gonna go in low, and we're just gonna kick them out back.
That's fine.
Okay.
We can hold position as we kick them out, even if it's like a few feet drop. That's probably ideal, in fact.
The radio crackles, and it's Captain Sawyer on the Bluebell, and he says, I hear you've got a couple pickups and drop-offs to make. We're just gonna poke our heads over the hills just to the south, and once your business is done, we'll follow you in, follow you back to your town.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Yep.
So the also the medical equipment that you salvaged from or that the Porsches had salvaged from the hospital is all loaded onto the Bluebell.
Okay.
Which is already hanging kind of low. They're gonna need to set down and do more serious repairs before they're ready for cross-country flight again.
Yeah.
The Porsches checked in and they're like, all right, like, you're going to get the cut of medical equipment that was going to go to the Bluebell, and the Bluebell's fine with that because you saved them.
And their ship is still functioning, which is,
Yeah. And then, yeah, the robots are still working on refurbishing their prize. Besides which, they can't go land and park it right away because you're going to be there picking up plants. So, of the things to do. Oh, sorry, no. So that's
I am
what,
going to go say goodbye to Joan and talk about how it's been a pleasure meeting her. And we'll be back in touch, or you can come and visit us at Hillside. We'll let the people at Hillside know to expect you.
I look forward to coming to visit Hill City very soon. It is important that we understand our neighbors if we're going to be good neighbors.
Yeah. Oh, and we believe there's a construction site around here that we were thinking about coming back and poking our head around.
Oh, yeah, it's full of monsters.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's kind of what I deal with.
Oh, well.
And then there's the people outside the ship.
It takes her a minute.
Never mind. Yeah. That was-
Tip your waitress, Joan. He's going to be here all night.
Takes her, yeah, a bit, and then she laughs. And she goes in for one of those, like warriors handshakes where you grip each other's forearms.
Yeah.
Till we meet again, brave pilot.
And here's to you, Lady Joan.
Here's to you, Lady Joan. I'm sorry. Music cue.
And she kept that out of a pocket. Out of a belt pouch. She pulls one of the little batteries that you'd handed her and her people the other night, or the other day, and she like mimes a little like, and to you. And puts it back away. And like turns around chuckling as her retinue goes back to the Mako.
Theo is laughing out loud as he turns around and walks off as well.
You back on on the side of the Mako, you see that with paint, the robots had started putting up name suggestions and like scrawling little notes next to them,
Mako's
like
mob.
they're already trying to figure out what to rename it. Yeah. So, you head back over to where you're waiting.
And there's this iguana,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Wait, did anyone check to see if we've got the cat?
Oh yeah, Tibble's on.
Tibble's back there.
Yeah, okay.
Hanging out there. So when you wake up, you were wrapped around this tree. You wake up and you're like very sore because you've never slept like this before. So like the first couple hours of the day are just like, oh man, that was weird. But like also strangely very restful.
you were like
And-
the iguana's personal heat rock. I bet he really appreciated having his own little heat source at night.
That's probably true.
You do wake up and the iguana had like moved over and like
We're like
stolen some of your
cuddling.
heat. Yeah.
Yeah.
You wake up and he'd wrapped himself around the tree just under you, so like taking some of the weight off of your stretched out arms and legs.
So I'm the little spoon.
Yes.
The warm little spoon.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's the Calamity Jane. Meow. Comes in, parks above, I'm guessing the auditorium again, because that's the spot where there's room. And the robots, they've got a bunch of extra equipment for handling all sorts of interesting circumstances, and they've full on got like the flagpole like has a rope line rigged over to like the radio antenna and stuff, and they block and tackle like lift all the plants that you designated up onto the roof, and they're very simply loaded into the
Do they
cargo bay.
lift the iguana that way too?
The iguana is like wrapped around the tree when they move the tree.
Yeah.
So, although I am liking the picture of just like hanging. But yeah, they move the tree.
Okay.
Is your friend, I guess, is coming?
Yeah.
Does he have a name? Or she?
I
Never really inquired about iguana gender identity before.
So far, it seems like the iguana really doesn't care about its name. I think naming is a human concept.
So we should just call him iguana.
I don't know if he will answer to you.
Well, when I refer to him, I
That's
will
what
simply
iguana
say
do.
that iguana.
That seems reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all loaded up. And parting gift. The robot who showed you how to use the motorized pick thing, like before you leave, they're like, hey, why don't you hang on to this? We've got some
Thank you.
extras.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Oh, well, thanks for... You know, I read somewhere that you don't really know a thing until you've taught it. And I feel like I really understand myself better. And this new kind of work I get to do. Anyway, you're welcome. And he walks away. Yeah.
A lot of the time, Fennec doesn't say words and instead thinks body language works. So I'm sorry if sometimes Fennec's just like just gesturing like.
Word. Yeah.
Now we
Oh,
got
not what?
Or not words.
Wordless.
rated up the prisoners.
I guess. Did we get everything that's useful out of them? Tell me we at least interviewed them a little before we're letting them go.
I let them talk. They told me all kinds of things.
But you don't even hurt people. How can you interrogate someone?
You know what's funny? I heard a little bit, and it was just like, I'm an asshole, in so many different words. It was amazing.
It's very simple, actually. You let someone think that they're at a complete disadvantage to you, and then you give them no idea as to what you want, as to what it is you want, and you let them think there's some sort of avenue to escape, and eventually they'll tell you something.
That's exactly the opposite of how I was taught to do that, but sure, that's never my thing.
That's a 24 in persuasion to have gleaned any information out of them with my strategy.
Yeah, and at a later point, we're going to talk about what important information you gleaned out of them with your strategy.
Your strategery.
Yeah, so do you do that loop out past the crater?
Yeah.
Are we dropping them off together, or are we...
Just the two. Drop them off together.
I let Rusty take over the controls for this, and I come down with my bow, and if they even flinch the wrong way...
No, that's exactly what you need to be doing. Yes, certainly.
I think until we find out what's happening with the other one, even though Cameron vouched for him.
And we just hand waved at the other one that was, well, the third one, he's going to be out for a while. He's going to be the ICU, basically. He's going to be there for...
He's going to take him a little while longer to wake up, yeah.
Oh.
So you roll in nice and low, and I guess are there...
I make a sleight of hand check.
Okay. To...
Slip one last thing in the backpacks without anybody noticing.
Both backpacks or...
Both backpacks.
Okay. What do you slip in?
Polaroids and a can opener.
Right
Yeah,
on.
That didn't work out.
23.
You might actually have me.
Oh, are we rolling perception to see if we see him? Oh, that's what's happening.
22.
Yeah, it looks like nobody cottoned on. They,
And a
you
note.
So you're going to kick them off the airship when you're coming in nice and slow? Like, are they...
Patty knows.
Are they, are like their hands tied, or you just have them under watch in the cargo bay?
It's real simple. Rusty and Patty will hold one of them. The bounds get cut, and I'm assuming you'll be right behind them with an arrow and say, hop out.
Okay.
We're all there and armed, so, you know.
Yeah. They're at like the rim of the crater. The terrain's more even, so like Rusty can get like within 10 feet or so of the ground. And
If they take more than 3 seconds, I'm kicking them. This is Sparta, right out.
They, the one that you first talked to, like, starts to turn, and he's like, come on. And he, like, grabs the collar of the other guy, and they both jump out. They stop, they roll, and then they get up, and the first one you talk to leading the way, like, immediately start walking
Oh,
northeast.
I yell one thing after them. If you see him, tell Lord Duluth, fuck you.
One of them holds a big thumbs up over his shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm staying by the open door for the time being.
I'll shout out something myself. You know, it's a shame. I think we could have been friends.
The thumbs up turns into a middle finger. And they are the one we didn't do the role play through the interview with, like, keeps stopping to turn back, and the one that you first talked to, like, grabs him and like nope, like hits his shoulder or like turns him bodily towards the edge of town that they're walking towards.
Not worth it.
Yeah. He's given one of those, you know, older, more experienced, like, now's not the time treatments. Yeah. And they sort of disappear off into the ruins.
Have they disappeared?
Yes.
Has everyone left the cargo bay before they disappeared?
No, I'm going to
no.
see him off.
No.
Okay. I'm staying there with an arrow notched until I cannot see them anymore. As long as there are people stood around me.
They sort of disappear off into the rough terrain.
At some point, because I'm sure I could probably determine that you were at least looking at the packs, I'm just going to keep staring there. So this is a fun game. Which one of us leaves the cargo bay first, huh?
I don't even respond, but when I can't see them anymore, I just turn around and walk off.
And he can see really far.
Yeah.
I'll stay there.
Where are the plants being stored?
The plants are being stored in the cargo bay.
Can we
So-
focus on the plants for a moment, Andrew?
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
I want to be making extensive notes about all the plants and like the way that they smell, the way that they look, and like if they smell like they might taste good, the way that they taste.
I'm imagining that while this tense scene is happening over here, like in the background,
Yeah.
Fennec is just there with like a notebook
Yeah.
and like scratching and sniffing and like rustling through plants.
Yes, exactly.
Totally. Tybalt has shown up and is just sort of like around your ankles, keeping you company while you do this.
Yes.
Yeah. So like this scene over here with the doctor and the pilot concludes, and like the camera swings over to where you've been this entire time, just like happily working away, making notes on these plants. Like it's the kind of stuff where like you can't wait for Grandma Gaia to see this stuff. So, yeah. Rusty puts it on the course you'd agreed to before, and keeps it on that unless you come take over the controls from him.
I am going to go up there because I want to be in the controls when we do this push.
You meet up with the Bluebell over the forested hills to the southwest of the city. Your radio crackles to life and like, all right, lead the way.
Well, keep up if you can.
It's going to be so awkward when we crash.
And you open it up. No rolls.
I am going to elevate, so we're going to maintain visibility so the Bluebell doesn't get lost behind us.
Sure. The engines rev up into a higher pitch than you've put them through before. I'm guessing you put the sails out on the side. And you are charging through the sky faster than you have before, with your bow pointed directly at home.
And Lando sharpening her axe.
Staring at Cameron.
So that's where we're going to leave it tonight. By the way, level up for next week. We'll talk about that in our group chat. Talk about details. Going to level 3,
Oh,
which
I'm
means
learning
important
more
things like subclasses and, mostly subclasses.
Are you telling me I'm going to become a lore bard?
Are you telling me you're going to become a lore bard?
Yes.
Nice. I'd like to read some announcements real quick as reminders for some cool stuff that's happening here at GeekSpaceTV. Wednesday, Leviathan Distant Stars is back. Friday, Eat, Pray, Kill is back. You should watch them. They're real good. Also, the Patreon rewards have been updated on the GeekSpaceTV Patreon. No action required on your part. New cool stuff is coming to you. Look out for it. If you aren't already, please consider supporting GeekSpaceTV's Patreon. It's one of the best ways to help and support the show and help and support the network in general. Also, thanks again to everyone who's donated tonight.
If you could thank Shadowcasters Network for the raid earlier.
Oh, and Shadowcasters Network for the raid earlier. Thank you very much. That was very cool of you. Twitch raids are really, I don't know, there's just such a generosity of spirit about them that I'm really happy that it's happened. So thank you, Shadowcasters. Also, a few other people to thank. Jared, our technical producer.
You can see in Periscope.
Who you can see in Periscope. Anna, who does basically everything here at GeekSpaceTV.
If you were watching my Periscope, you probably saw Anna building things right now or earlier.
Yeah. Also, there's really cool art done for the show by our friends Stacy and Amy. We have intro music provided generously by Johnny Nero Action Hero. Check him out on Bandcamp. And also, thank you to the mods who have been working diligently to keep the high-quality experience that you come to expect happening in the chat on the Twitch channel. Anyone else have any shout-outs or anything?
Yeah. You.
Aw.
You do so much work every week to make this happen, Andrew,
Aw.
and we really, really, really appreciate that.
Thanks, Corwin.
He wrote those little short stories for George to read.
They weren't that short. I
you see
I
it?
might
Like,
modify
seriously?
the ones that are in the envelope still. And thanks to everybody who, not only everyone who donated, but everyone who's been talking about the show, engaging with the hashtag on Twitter, hashtag AloftRPG, joining the Facebook group and stuff like that. Knowing that we're hoping you guys have a fun Monday night is really the best reward we have for doing this. So, thanks everybody. See you guys in a week. Have a good night.
Bye.